Spoilers of the Damned.
Hello and welcome to Spoilers of the Damned, episode number 19. Today we are talking about 13 Ghosts, which is all my fault. I apologise. However, I had a good time. It was a bit cheesy. Kind of like
cheese.
pizza.
Yes.
How are you guys doing?
Cheese pizza.
Just for reference, everybody, we were talking about pizza just before we hit record. So...
We're talking about pizza now. What are you talking about? Pizza.
I'm just giving context. Before they hear us talking about pizza, I'm just saying we were talking about pizza before as well.
There was this place... Oh, go ahead.
And so we've got to sit here and talk about a terrible movie. How can you sit there and eat pizza?
Oh, man.
Nice.
I can do it.
Reference.
I'll get it in. Sorry, I've been doing that voice a lot since last night. I was out in London with my girlfriend at a David Bowie tribute cabaret show for charity.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And as we came out of Waterloo Station, there was a guy there. You don't see him very often around London, but he was like preaching, and he just had a really terrible printed out A4 sheet of paper that said "Praise Jesus" or "Believe in God," but it was because it had been damp during the day, so it was a bit floppy. And he sounded a bit intoxicated. He was just like, "Believe in Jesus, Jesus is Lord."
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh, it sounds like you need him. Oh no! So
are you looking for him? Is that it?
Yeah. Have you lost him? Just believe in Jesus is Lord. Oh no! Oh honey, you need to go somewhere else. But yeah, so I've been stuck doing that voice for like 24 hours now. It's driving me mad. It's mind. That's what you want.
Those are always fun. That reminds me, Dragoncon is going on right now in Atlanta, and it's really big. And it's not supposed to be an anime convention or whatever, but it's an everything convention now.
Oh yes.
It used to be like D&D tabletop centered, but superheroes show up, and what are you gonna do? Turn them away? Nah. Anime shows up, video games shows up, all these things show up. It just becomes a big damn thing. But it's all about everything that culture. Con. Yeah, everything con. But it's like 5 hotels huge. Like, the entire stretch of street where, like, there's, like, several big-name hotels, and they're all connected with sky bridges, hosts the whole thing, and it's awesome. Wow. But there's always those...
Sky bridges.
Sky bridges. But there's always those people...
I've never seen a sky bridge before.
who stand out at the street corner being like, praise Jesus, trying to get as many converts over, and it's like, please, just do something else with your life, you know? Like, spend your time working at a soup kitchen or a volunteer thing, you know? Help people. You're not helping people by dragging them towards your religion so much.
Well, you just want to walk up to people like that and say, well, you've come as a priest or like scholar. Why are you not dressed, like 3 out of 10 for your costume?
Yeah, 3 out of 10 for your costume.
Costume's terrible, bro.
Yeah. It was like modern chic priest. What is this? I don't get it. Oh man. It's a really good time though. I've been there a couple of times, and still the most amazing costume I saw was somebody dressed up as Cosmos from Xenosaga. I don't know if anyone knows who that even is, but
most of the people in Xenosaga have like massive robot wing things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, even at the time that I went, Xenosaga had long since phased out. It was a PlayStation 2 series that kind of flopped when you consider its story and all that kind of stuff. But there was somebody who still went as Cosmos with all the long blue hair and all the wing tips and foam things that she'd put on, and it looked amazing. And I took a picture of her, and I was like, hey, can I take a picture of you? She's like, yeah. And I clicked the picture, and she wasn't smiling. And I was like, that bitch. And then I realized, wait a second. She's an android. She's not supposed to smile. I'm the bitch.
Fully in character.
Yeah,
and then Chris was bitch.
Yes, and then Chris was bitch.
I have Xenosaga 2 on the PS2. I've never played it. I just own it.
I think that was the most fun one to me. It actually had a battle system that was unique and took a while to learn, but once you learned it, you could really take advantage of it, and it was fun. I liked it.
Did it come with like a DVD or something? Because the box I've got for it is like twice the thickness of a usual box, and I'm not sure why.
Are you fat shaming that box? Is that what's going on here?
I am indeed.
You monster.
You monster.
Why can't you take up the same space as everyone else on the shelf?
I don't know about the DVD. There could be one. It could be that it's 2 discs and they're like, well, it needs to be twice the size. I have no idea. I don't remember. It's been a decade or longer since I played those games.
Yeah, I'm not finding a decent enough answer on Google. It's just pictures of the box. So yeah, I know the box is big.
It's a big box. Oh yeah.
It's a
big box. I like big boxes. I cannot lie. So
yes, the
stuff.
European release contained a DVD movie with cutscenes from Xenosaga 1.
Perfect.
Ah, there we go. Perfect.
That's all Xenosaga 1 was anyway. You picked it up and you pressed X and you can
cutscenes.
just put the controller down and wait for the end.
Well, what a game.
So that's good. Did you guys never have... did you guys not have Xenosaga 1 released at all?
I'm not sure, actually.
I don't know. That's a good question. They
good
might have
one.
done that in the same way, like on original Xbox. They
Yeah.
released Shenmue 2 with a DVD of the original game.
Here we go. Yeah, it looks like the first one was only released in Japan and North America.
Oh, that's why I've only got Xenosaga 2 then.
I love it when games companies do that and then confuse the shit out of everyone.
Oh, like Final Fantasy 7?
Wait,
That was
it's
epic.
7th one? What the hell?
Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, I love the first Final Fantasy. The one with Cloud and Sephiroth. It's like, it says 7 at the end of it. That wasn't just there for words. It was an actual marker. There's more than one of them, dumbass. Oh, man.
For some reason, I group Xenosaga Episode 2 in my head with, like, Neon Genesis Evange-Lyon. Is that how you say it?
I think, yeah. That's a
Evange-Lyon?
That's a great try. That's what that is.
Yes.
The Evange thing.
I've never seen Evange-Lyon, so I don't know. But from the
boy.
cover and box art, it seems
you're
similar.
just like, it's a good try, and then you pronounce it perfectly. Like, first go. It's not fair.
I don't even know if that's perfect. That's just my attempt. That's all that is.
Well, you just carried on like you had, so I don't know. You fooled me.
It's
Gotcha.
It's like up to your own interpretation, man.
Yeah, right, man. Kind of like, and this is no spoilers, Game of Thrones. When I've read the book, I always pronounced Jaime's name as Jaime, always. Because in Deus Ex, there's a character named Jaime who spells his first name the exact same way. And so I was like, oh, cool, Jaime Lannister, that's a cool name. And then, of course, in the TV show, they call him Jaime, and I'm like, no.
No.
I mean, no, but no. Stop it. You're wrong, all of you.
Stop being wrong.
So...
Well, it's extra confusing when people have the exact same name but pronounce it differently. Like the guy from Signs, what's his name? Is it
Joaquin Phoenix?
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix. That guy, there's another guy in a band called Sabaton from Sweden, and his name is spelled exactly the same, but he pronounced it Joachim instead. So,
yeah.
learn to earth.
Yeah, maybe
to
Joaquin
name.
Phoenix doesn't know how to pronounce his own first name. Or maybe he's just being creative, and he's like, no, it's Joaquin. Where have you ever heard it pronounced Joaquin before? That's what he sounds like to me in my head.
I'll have you know.
Yeah, that type of thing.
Yeah, actually. I'm not going to go on. We've carried on that joke too much. Horror stuff, though.
Yes. Horror
Anybody
stuff.
did any horror stuff in the last time since we talked?
Let me think. Many things.
I've watched a lot of horror TV.
Yeah.
I've finished The Mist. That's done now. The short story is the people who wrote that clearly wanted to create like a B-plot human drama thing and kind of paint some nice decoration in the background and pretend that it's important, and that was The Mist. Banking on Stephen King's good name. Bless him. And it was okay. I mean, the finale had some good, satisfying moments. It also had clearly season 2 bait.
Yeah.
Please recommission us. We will answer all these questions and more in the next installment, which probably will never happen based on the viewing figures for The Mist.
Yeah.
So I just hate it because, I mean, obviously some shows, they don't know whether they're going to be recommissioned or not, so fair enough. But they very clearly don't even try to finish the story. Like, you know how we're sort of finding with Chris, without spoiling it, that Twin Peaks this season, although it's answering some questions, it's leaving a lot behind that, you know, if it gets recommissioned for a season 4, you know, there's stuff there to do, which is fine. But it's also, we feel that it's going to give us some kind of conclusion at the end of this season. And yeah, there are some shows that just like, I was watching a show that Sci-Fi did called Helix. I'd recommend maybe the first season. The second season is kind of batshit, and they're throwing everything at the wall to try and make it work. Short story, it's basically like this kind of virus TV show thing where they're like, oh, we're the CDC and we turn up at this base where, you know, everything's gone into lockdown, and it turns out apparently that there are these immortal beings, and, you know, they're immune to viruses and stuff, and they live among us, you know, they're in our kind of like our governments and what have you. Anyway, season 2 finishes with like this big kind of like hook of going 20 years in the future, here's what's happening, and it's like, whoa, you know, like mind blown. And then like the next news article is like, Sci-Fi cancels Helix.
Oh.
Well, oh well.
Yay.
And it's like, I'm sure you guys must have had an idea that's where it was going, but instead of, you know, we've got to end on a cliffhanger. And it's like, well, if we could have had just a little tiny bit of closure, you know. But I guess that's how Firefly fans feel, although I've not seen it.
Yeah, like,
That is how it is.
I really feel strongly about Stranger Things Season 2 being a thing, because Season 1 ended relatively like closed off. Like nearly all your questions were answered. The villain was equalized. You know, there's no real like hanging threads except for that final scene. But even then, that scene could just be like, I don't know, some after effects that he has to deal with. I'm not trying to spoil it at all, even though we're called spoilers of the damned. I'm not going to be that way with Stranger Things.
So good.
Yeah, it's really good. It's step by step, scene by scene. Everything, plot, all of it is wonderful. So now that they're doing a season 2, and I've heard they're already gonna try to do a season 3. Now we might end up having the same problem where like they're not gonna like answer all the questions anymore. They're gonna keep like cliffhangers going and try to string you along to keep you going, and it's like that's just unacceptable television production, if you ask me. It's just, that's irresponsible, it's unacceptable, and I'm tired of it. So tired of hearing it, because I don't want to invest my lifetime into a single TV show for years and years and years.
No.
I mean, that's what...
fair.
Although you're talking to the guys who are doing the Twin Peaks sidecast.
Hey, but Twin Peaks is an exception. I'll give it an exception because, yeah, it was interesting and bizarre, and then it got like really weird. I still haven't gotten past where I was on season 2 because it was just so bizarre. I can't prepare my mind to accept how weird that is by itself. But you know, what was it, like 25 years later we'll talk again was something they said in the first season, and then like 25 years later they were doing a third season. It's like, all right, you know, if you're gonna do that shit, if you're really gonna play the long ball on this one, go right ahead. But it's not like it's not like during the 25 years
things where most
like,
people think it's past, you can't do it, and then it happens. It's like once everyone had resigned themselves to the fact they were never going to get it, suddenly it appears.
Right. That's the good thing, is that they didn't like play it up every year for 25 years as season 3 is coming or something. They let you to sort of like, you know, okay, that's Twin Peaks. It was a weird phenomena. We all enjoyed it, but we have to move on now. And then they do that cool thing where it's like 25 years later, here we are, bitches. Oh shit! You know, all the fans who are still alive get to enjoy some more Twin Peaks.
Yeah, it's a bummer for everyone who isn't.
Yeah. Oh well.
Sucks to be.
But because everything that the one thing that makes stick in my mind is I was reading Stephen King doing an interview of some kind where he was saying because he was wrapping up the Dark Tower series, which there was kind of a big gap between, I guess, book 4 and book 5. Yeah, I think it was something like 15 years. And he was getting letters from old people, and he would say, like, this old lady wrote me a letter and said, look, I won't tell anyone, can you please just tell me how it ends, because I'm gonna like die. And he said, like, people like on death row would send him like letters and stuff, or, you know, they know they're gonna be executed. And it's like, yeah, I you know, if I knew my time was about to be up and, you know, we were halfway through, I don't know, Breaking Bad or something, I'd want to know what the end was.
That's fair.
Yeah,
it's fair to want to know the ending of it, but
it's kind of like the ultimate sick note. It's like, please, sir, I can't do it today because
I'm dying.
Yeah, so please, can you just let me skip to the end?
Wow.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, my only response to that would be that you'll have to let go sometime. just sort of accept it.
Dear fan, thank you for your mail. You've all got to let go sometime. Signed, Stephen King.
Lol, you die soon.
Yeah, I can't chance that you'll spoil it for the living. So yeah, just take it with you when you die. I'll have the coroner or whoever whispered into your corpse after you're executed.
Wow.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. Stephen King's a dark motherfucker.
That's
you know
fucking
what I'm
dark.
Like, Stephen, dude, what the hell, man?
So, I don't know.
Why you gotta be that way?
It's
citation needed. I'm not sure Steve said all of that.
No, he didn't say any of it. It was all me the whole time. But yeah, as far as TV goes, like I've been rewatching Ghost in the Shell, and I have an apology to make, because when I saw the Ghost in the Shell live action movie, TLDR, it's still great. I thought that movie was a scene for scene remake of the first movie, and I was way wrong. I was so wrong, because I rewatched the first movie because I was going to go to Dragoncon because Mary Elizabeth McGlynn's going to be there, and I wanted to get her to sign stuff. But I thought that $400 and 4 days out of my weekend was too much to ask of myself to go get a signature from a stranger. Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, no, she didn't charge $400. It would just cost that much for me to get into Dragoncon, drive to Dragoncon, snacks and food and all that kind of stuff. All the travel expenses is what I mean to say. She's not like, ha, $400, bitch.
And now your money is mine.
Yeah. But she says it with her voice, so you just sort of accept it. It's nice. Sure, thank you. But I was going to go see her and all that kind of stuff. But
Can I just clarify? That's the lady who sang on Silent Hill soundtracks, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Mary Elizabeth McGlynn sang on Silent Hill soundtrack. She voiced Motoko Kusanagi in Standalone Complex. Did she voice Angela? Angela. No, she didn't voice Angela. She voiced Maria in the remake of Silent Hill 2 HD.
That's it.
She also voiced one of the bad guys in Resident Evil Revelations 2. She's Johanna in Diablo 3, the female crusader. She's also the voice actor director for Naruto in America, and also for Devil May Cry 3 and Devil May Cry 4. She's got a long list of accomplishments where she's in the background of most of the things that influenced me in my life. So I really like her, but I mean, I have to understand that I really just like her work, not her. I have no idea who she is as a person. She used to go by Melissa Williamson, and now she's Mary Elizabeth McGlynn. And she's got so many names, man. I don't know who the hell she is.
Who are you?
Yeah. So,
which one do you want me to sign it?
Yeah. All of them. Give me a list. Just get a little creepy with her. But yeah, so I was gonna go see her, and I talked myself out of it by ending up watching all the things that I originally credited her for in my mind. And one of those things was the original Ghost in the Shell. And apparently she didn't voice Motoko in the original Ghost in the Shell. That was a lady named Mimi Woods, who didn't do a whole lot more after that. But she was prominent in 80s and 90s American anime. Anyway, going back to the apology for live-action Ghost in the Shell. First anime Ghost in the Shell starts off kind of similar, but then it goes wildly different. There's whole scenes where all they do is just sit and just spar with philosophy about human condition and robotics and what creates a human and what is a ghost and all that kind of stuff, which I enjoyed, but none of that is in the live action movie, thankfully. And the final villain, which Ghost in the Shell was out in 1988 or 1991, I think, something like that. So the spoiler is not much of a spoiler at this point. The Puppet Master, who was the end-all villain in the first Ghost in the Shell movie, was just an AI created by Section 6 to create a distraction so Section 6 can use their jurisdiction powers to get into places where they wouldn't normally be able to get into. And they did that so many times that the Puppet Master gained sentience from all the time it was in the internet, and it wanted a body. So it went after Motoko to try to get her into a position to accept a bargain between the two of them where they could fuse into one body and become one whole person, and they wouldn't be like a biological person because Motoko is mostly just a brain. Her body is cybernetic, and but they would have children, air quotes, through the internet and all of the programs and apps that they would create to proliferate themselves amongst the internet, which doesn't make any sense really when you think about it. But the actual ending is like some Section 6 snipers were aiming at both the Puppet Master's body and Motoko's body, and they shot the Puppet Master's body, and his brain goes all over the place. And Bato is there, who's like the White Knight for Motoko in all of the series and everything. He puts his arm in front of Motoko's face just enough time to sort of like throw off the aim of the bullet so it hits her neck instead of her brain, and then he grabs her head and he ends up putting it into a doll. He puts it into like a little girl's robot body, as if someone who needed an entire prosthetic body but also needed to grow into an adult would use that body. And yeah, well, that's kind of how it ends, with Motoko waking up as a little girl and with all of her memories intact, and the Puppet Master having been downloaded into her psyche, so she is both things at once. And she leaves Bato's house and says things like, the net is vast, and then credits roll. And that is not how the live-action movie ended at all. So I was like, wow, I was way wrong with the live-action movie. But I remember being like very passionate about that on this podcast, about how close it was to the original. And I was so wrong that I'm embarrassed about it. I was like, oh shit, I had no idea what I was talking about the whole time. In fact, the live-action movie is made up of scenes from the Ghost in the Shell movie, Ghost in the Shell 2 Innocence, Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex intro, and probably some other things, all like mishmashed into each other, into what I would consider an actual better constructed movie with a better villain and a better plot thread that actually makes whole sense throughout the entire thing. So
okay, because that's only just come out on Blu-ray now over here.
Yeah.
So.
I do recommend watching it. I think it's good. The only thing I would say is bad about it is Scarlett Johansson could have been budget Scarlett Johansson, and they could have saved some money on their budget, probably. Yeah. Like, just get a different actress. Because ScarJo, like, walks with her shoulders like a robot sometimes, and it's just like, no, Motoko walked like a human being. She didn't play up the cyborg part. They didn't have... Well, we don't have actuators for that area, so it's always straight and weird. But, you know, that's her interpretation. It's whatever.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I know I had like a whole block of text there, but it was like very important that I get that out and apologize publicly for how I was wrong.
It was a plot dump.
Yeah, I mean, because I might have misled people from wanting to watch it, and I think it's a really good movie. I still think Ghost in the Shell 1 anime is a important anime to watch, if not for the animation itself. Also, just, you know, the fact that the main hero is usually fully dressed and a fully grown woman. That's not popular in anime anymore, so I think that's important.
Yeah.
And also, the Ghost in the Shell 2 Innocence is an extremely well animated movie, in my opinion, with how they use computers and two-dimensional animation together to make it like work. Like, there's a lot of camera work that you don't see in movies today that works great in anime, because they can free float that camera without having to get hoists and men to work the camera and all that kind of stuff. So it's really cool, and there's a really great action scene in there that's worth watching. So this is your review of Ghost in the Shell Everything by Chris Reichert.
No, that sounds good, because I'm really in. For some reason, at the moment, I'm really on an anime binge, even though I haven't actually started watching any yet. I've just basically been sidelining lots of it, ready in case. I'm going to start, based on Matt's recommendation, I'm going to start Attack on Titan. I have seen the first episode before, so it's not completely blind, and I also know that based on the first episode, it can be a bit depressing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, just a tad.
Yeah, I'm kind of lining up other stuff as well on the side to kind of keep it, you know, buzzy and vibrant. But I can't remember if we were talking about it on the cast or if we were talking about it afterwards. But were we not? We were talking about anime a while ago, weren't we? Like movies, because I was mentioning Paprika.
Yeah. Satoshi Konflicts. I really liked all of those, and one of them will probably be...
Did we talk about that on the cast, or was that off cast?
It was on.
I can't remember.
It was on.
Oh, okay. Let's rehash that then.
Yeah. Like.
So yeah, I probably will fit in a Paprika rewatch as well.
Yeah, I will definitely do a Perfect Blue rewatch. It's a horror movie, sorta. It's more of a thriller, but there's some real gore in there, and it's definitely more horror movie than 13 Ghosts, which is not a segue. It's an opinion I have.
This is an opinion that's absolutely correct.
Hey, as I was saying on the chat, everyone's got to have their Galaxy of Terror, you know?
Yeah.
You're due one, Chris.
Yep, it's your turn now.
Oh, shit. Fuck. I don't think I watch bad movies like that, so I may not be able to provide one.
It will happen. Oh, it will happen.
Oh, I'm sure there will be. I'm sure I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember this one movie so good. Let's watch it. And we watch it, and I'm like appalled the whole time. Like, oh my god, I liked this. What happened? So.
I still feel there are little kind of like golden nuggets inside this somewhere.
No. I agree. I know Matt doesn't, and I'll fight him on that, but I agree. I do agree that there are some golden nuggets on there.
The credits.
The credits. Well, no, the credits don't count. Raw Digga is not that great. I mean, those lyrics were just blech. I didn't like them at all. The flow was there,
as well.
Yeah. Are we going to talk about 13 Ghosts now? Did I accidentally segue us, or what?
We might as well. It's like a
might
huge
as well, unless
sticker.
there's any other horror stuff that we want to talk about beforehand.
Yeah, I don't think Matt had much of an opportunity outside of the religion thing.
It's scary enough for me. No, I watched Life the day before I watched 13 Ghosts. That was a better movie.
Okay.
Oh, it's sort of like an antibody situation where you're like, I know this is going to hurt, so I'm going to prep myself, watch a good movie before a bad movie.
I mean, because I mean, Life wasn't perfect. I mean, it's
Life isn't perfect.
I mean, it didn't really do anything different, but I think what it did well enough, and it pays homage to a lot of sci-fi horror that I've watched over the years. I've seen a lot of people really sour on it, and I think, you know, when some of the really harsh criticisms are a bit unfair. It never sets out to be like this big intelligent sci-fi horror film. It's very simple. It doesn't treat you like an idiot either.
Yeah.
It's not more intelligent than it thinks. It doesn't think it's more intelligent, than it actually is. And the ending's actually quite good. I actually quite like the ending. I laughed, but I still liked it.
It is a bit of a kind of a star-studded affair, though, isn't it? Like, there's
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is in there. Other people.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Playing a character, and Ryan Reynolds playing himself for most of it. But no, it's enjoyable. It's very claustrophobic at times because of the setting, which helps. And the life form is pretty cool. It does suffer at times from the idiot plot where just leave it alone. Leave this thing alone. Like, it's replicating cells at a remarkable rate, and it's like it's all brain and muscle tissue. Like, stop! Don't prod it. And he's like, I'm going to electrocute it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh, look, it's broken your hand. Well, it's like
Yeah, what you're just referring to, like the corporation from Aliens. Just like every time, it's like, guys, you've got a proven track record of not thinking this through.
I love it in Alien Throne. It's like, just imagine what we can learn from it. You'll learn how to die horribly.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Can you imagine the equivalent? Is like, I don't know, rats that like carry rabies or something, and it's like there's a scientist guy going, no, don't put him in the trap. It's beautiful. Can't you see? You don't understand. It's great. You
just gotta do it. It's great. There's so much we can learn. Oh, it's bad in my jugular.
All right. Well, I've learned all I can.
I did what I loved.
I did what I loved. Right.
I died doing what I loved.
I'm just waiting for the third act where sweating and, you know, shaking with fear, they say, okay, you let it in. I'm going to put this cheese on this trap.
Yeah.
You're going to lure it this way.
And then the
little cage comes down, like in the board game.
But it gets out.
Mousetrap in the US.
Of course, I'm sure they
board game.
Yeah, Mousetrap.
Yeah, good. That's a reference that works on both sides of the Atlantic.
Yay!
Yeah,
and the diver jumps in the boat, and then the little thing falls down.
Yeah. I had that game. The mousetrap thing never worked all the way through every time, so it was kind of like
never.
It's like, the ball didn't go all the way. Crap. Now we have to nudge it and pretend like it's still fun.
It's still fun.
Yeah,
you're having fun.
Like yell it at me.
Look at all the fun we're having. Yeah, having fun, Dad.
Yes, Dad. Yes, I'm sorry. I'm
Smile
having fun.
And smile and be jovial. I spent money on this.
Yeah. So
$14.99.
Stop striking me.
$14.99. Oh, the money. I was like, what happened in $14.99?
There wasn't much to do in $14.99. It was just Mousetrap.
It's just Mousetrap.
And that was more of a like mealtime plan than a board game.
Thinking like a Mousetrap championship.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like teams of people who play Mousetrap professionally.
That would be beautiful.
Yeah,
I would love to see that.
I would watch that.
Because that game is like pretty much just random number generator, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
like,
Pretty much.
It's RNG
until someone
for the
rolls the right number,
Got the trap.
just like sweating, shaking, like, I've got to get a double 2.
I want to see this Mousetrap in action.
We're into extra time now. They've been doing this for 4 hours. Let's just go roll it.
The referee has passed
Every
out.
time it gets set up, someone sets it off again by accident.
Yep.
Oh
Wow.
my god.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So, we should probably finally talk about the film as much as I don't want to.
Well, before...
Okay, well, I'll step up to the bat. I picked 13 Ghosts.
Yeah.
The reason I picked 13 Ghosts is because I remembered it quite fondly from my sort of like, I guess, adolescence. I was about sort of like 12, 13. And I remembered there were a lot of ideas, I thought, in the movie, like the kinds of ghosts and stuff. I mean, I had the DVD. It was one of the first DVDs I got. And it had all these extras, sort of like featurettes about each ghost and what their backstory was. And there was art and, there was kind of like footage from the film cut in as well. So it was like this, golden age of when they actually gave a shit about extras on the DVDs. And I just got into it, and I probably only ever watched the film about 2 or 3 times, but I must have watched those featurettes as many times because, when you've just bought a PS2, you can afford Zone of the Enders and a DVD. The DVD becomes a game.
Push a button.
To get your money's worth. And yeah, so obviously I haven't seen it since then, and that is a significant period of time. So I thought it would be a good choice for the podcast. I know you guys pretty much had all seen it before as well. Is that right?
I'd seen snippets of it. I saw it, and it was on Sky Movies a lot. And every time I turn it over, I just go, no. And just turn it back again. No.
Nah, yeah.
Oh, and the other thing that made me pick it is that we've very recently seen the triumphant return of Matthew Lillard to acting on TV in Twin Peaks. So even before the season started, I remember him from this, sort of quite fondly. So that also made it kind of stick in my mind.
I see.
Yeah, it was that or Scooby-Doo. So, and I thought, I'll pick the least scary one.
He was in Scream, wasn't he?
He was in
Yes.
Scream,
On the
which
serial
I've never seen Scream.
Oh, well, there you go. And now you know.
Next time
I
on
know
Spoilers
roughly
of the
what
Damned, Scream. Sorry.
I know roughly what his part in it was, but I've actually, we were talking before the cast about Scary Movie being popular when I was a teenager in school, about the same time as 13 Ghosts, and bought that DVD, watched that film, and all of the all of the jokes based on Scream just went right over my head. I had no idea
Yeah,
what they meant.
they will do. Yeah,
But
it relies,
it's funny because,
Yeah, it relies very heavily on you actually haven't seen Scream. Even though Scream in itself was essentially a parody of the slasher genre.
Yeah, it was very kind of knowing, kind of like what's the word? Postmodern is the word, isn't it? Very self-referential. Like, this is the bit where you fall down, and then they actually do fall down.
It actually reminds me a little bit of you guys were talking about Scary Movie just a second ago, and the thing about Scary Movie, of course, was that it referenced Scream so much. The people who would have made those kinds of movies in the past, not so much Scary Movie or Scary Movies, but parody movies of themes, of genres, like for example Hot Shots. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Hot Shots was a great movie, but Airplane is a fantastic
The
movie.
Naked Gun.
So good. Yeah, Naked Gun, the entire series. Those movies and those TV shows never made an attempt to parody specific movies.
No.
Yeah, it was more of a genre.
Yeah, because like
Same-
Hot
same with
Shots
Austin Powers
was
as well.
basically
I mean,
was like
slightly smaller pool,
Rambo, but it wasn't like referencing Rambo directly, except for one point I think where what's his name? The Warlock, I'll just call him that because I can't remember his fucking name. Charlie Sheen. There we go. Charlie Sheen like used a bow and arrow at some
on
point
Tigerblade.
or something. He had a chicken instead of an arrow, and he pulled the chicken back and fired it, and that was about it. But that's funny by itself, even if you've never seen Rambo. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It occurred to me, you guys were talking about that. I was like, man, Scary Movie didn't work because it was like, let's make fun of Scary Movie or Scream. Let's make fun of Scream specifically.
Yeah, and I mean, even with all those movies, sorry, Matt, but just all those movies in that genre, so like Epic Movie and I can't remember all the other ones.
Not Another Teen Movie.
Yeah, exactly. It was just kind of, it was so derivative and it was of a specific moment in time as well.
Yeah.
Rather than a kind of a genre or something. But sorry, Matt, I interrupted.
No, that's funny. But the problem with those films as well, but with Epic Movie, Superhero Movie, was it Vampire Sucks? I remember when the trailer for Vampire Sucks dropped, and everyone was like, "Oh, look, it's making fun of Twilight." I'm like, "Yeah, but I make fun of Twilight, and and my jokes are funnier than theirs, and I'm not that funny."
Not only that, but I guarantee you would probably find it more interesting to actually watch Twilight than watch a parody of Twilight.
Yeah.
And make fun of it with your friends while watching it, like riffing on it, essentially, like Mystery Science Theatre, doing stuff like that, because that is fun.
Mm-hmm.
I have a very soft spot for the Twilight series, by the way, but even I can crack jokes at it.
Yeah, exactly. But and I'm watching the trailer, and it makes reference to like Avatar. Like, Avatar was like 4 years ago when that film came out. It's like, get with the fucking program.
Yeah, just throw it in. Just throw it in.
People know what it is.
Oh, here's Michael Jackson. Throw him in. Yeah. You know.
And that's the problem with those films. It's literally just, hey, you know that thing, don't you? Oh, yeah, I think I remember that. Oh, look, it's funny. Look, Iron Man got flattened by a cow. It's funny, right? Because Iron Man doesn't get flattened by cows. He's a superhero. That's so funny. Why are you doing this? And then the Hulk's there. Oh, but the Hulk, his pants are showing. Because usually his trousers would stay on. But he's too big and he's naked now. It's funny. No, it's not funny. Stop it. Whereas, like you said, Airplane, Naked Gun, and Hot Shots, they not only were they parodied in the genre itself, but there's also obviously a lot of love and affection for it.
Yeah.
Because I think it was Mel Brooks said it about Spaceballs, and he
did Robin Hood Men in Tights as well.
Yes, exactly. And they were like, "Whoa, did you you're making fun of Star Wars? Did you not like Star Wars?" And he goes, "I fucking love Star Wars."
Yeah.
And he basically, I'm gonna absolutely butcher the quote, but he said something essentially said, if you love something, it's easier for you to make fun of it because you can pick up on all of the little mistakes and the little silly things, but you still have a lot of love and affection for it. Yeah. So while you're parodying, when you're making fun of it, when you're making a parody film, you're not just going, "That's so stupid."
Yeah.
There's the understanding of it behind it, and that's what makes Airplane funny. That's what makes Naked Gun really funny. It's what makes the original TV show Police Squad.
Really, that's what it's called. Yeah.
My favourite moments in that is when it's like a freeze frame at the end of the episode.
I love that.
So they're all standing still, and the set just starts to collapse.
Yeah.
And there's like pieces of debris falling on top of them. They're just they're not moving. Yeah. It all just starts to unravel. It's just brilliant.
Yeah, it's awesome. We have that one guy who didn't freeze, and he's just walking around or then he'll start to try to strike a pose himself and freeze and sort of wobble and he just can't hold it. But everyone else is perfectly doing. And you know how hard it would be to not laugh in that situation?
Oh, so difficult.
Leslie Nielsen was amazing. So when you think about how Scary Movie 3 and 4 came out, I guess they were bought up by the company who Leslie Nielsen worked for. He ended up being in those movies. It didn't improve them at all. It was just bad.
It was he's wacky. Yeah, but you're missing he's good at playing wacky characters in comedic situations, but you're forgetting that he needs funny dialogue for it to actually work.
Yeah, not even he can save it.
No, he really couldn't because they were really bad.
So I guess we can say that parody movies are a bit of a ghost of the past. Just bringing it back to the topic.
King of Segways has still got it.
That's how season 1 finishes. I actually finally have a heart attack. That was one too many.
That's too much.
Happy Christmas.
No, we can get artistic and cool with this. Season 2 opens with those bips. And it's me and Chris, and we're like, "You think he's gonna make it? He's gonna pull through."
I'm just eating a bag of chips, crisps. Sorry.
I smell flaming hot monster munch.
Oh man.
Okay.
I hear they're having a sale on pizza.
Oh yeah, I'm out. 50% off or something.
Or it's just like Friday the 13th where I should be dead. Like I just got a machete to the brain, but I'm back. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I just keep coming back. It's alright.
I got better.
Reminds me of
I got better.
of Tucker and Dale. Yeah, he's just gonna walk it off.
Yeah,
He's fine.
Walk it off. Oh man. Speaking of Chris,
I'll tell you someone who won't walk it off.
Oh no.
One of several ghosts.
except for one of them,
I'll see myself
they all walk.
It's a good thing none of the ghosts had any kind of like issues with epilepsy or anything, or strobe lighting or flashing images.
Man, yeah.
Because I felt like I was developing it after I saw the fucking movie.
Yeah, I'd be interested because I mean, obviously, this film is a remake essentially.
Yes,
I'd be
the
interested
60s.
to see just how different, because the original film was in the 60s. I'd be interested to see how kind of. I bet like one shot in that movie lasts like 2 minutes, while in this movie some shots last like a 0.2 of a second.
Oh yeah, I was. It got so bad like very early on that I sat there watching it with my girlfriend, and I was getting angry at the constant cuts, like the constant fucking cuts and changes in the camera angles, and it just wasn't. It had no focus. It could not just sit there on a scene. It had to like keep switching. And I sat there just like counting. It was like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, oh, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Oh no, fuck.
You're trying to get to 13.
Yeah. Oh no. I think I've seen parts of the original. I know I've seen parts of the original. I'm pretty sure back in its heyday when it came out, it was in 1960. I'm sure it was during that time where they were trying to do 3D. I'm sure of it.
Something along those lines.
Because I remember watching it thinking, it's like it's almost like the thing coming up to the screen, like, whoa, see, it's spooky vision, which is I think why we're skipping ahead, but that's why they had the glasses so they could see things.
Yeah, I believe so.
It's like a throwback,
like a homage to that.
Yeah, which was like, it was nice. I'm like, you actually try to work it into the plot. That's cool, I guess. I'd have so many made, but anyway.
Well, it appears it was following in the vein of House on Haunted Hill, which I believe did pretty well, which was also a remake of one of the same guy's films. I've not seen that one actually. House on Haunted Hill.
I haven't. I heard it was really shit.
And following in that vein,
well, I've actually got
ghosts.
I've actually got because I've got them all up on my tabs as I do, and on the poster the tagline for House on the Haunted Hill is 6 strangers have the chance to make $1 million each. All they have to do is make it through the night alive. House on the Haunted Hill. Evil loves to party.
That's way too many taglines.
Yeah, it actually says it. House on the Haunted Hill. Evil loves to party. And these two movies...
motioning to me that apparently it's just shit. She said the opening is horrible. I don't even know what the opening is.
Oh no, Jeffrey Rush is in it.
Is he?
No. And Famke Janssen, she's in it as well. No.
I actually liked it.
I like those two
you've seen it. She's saying like apparently they're operating on someone and pulling all his innards out while he's still awake or something.
That probably happens.
Oh no, Jeffrey Combs is in it as well.
Yeah. There's
Jeffrey, no.
I was working at a movie theater when it came out, which is the only reason why I saw it. It was also one of the first horror movies I'd ever seen in full length in a movie theater as well, which is probably why I remember it so well. Not like point for point, plot for plot stuff, but I remember it fondly. I do remember like the ending being kind of shit, but the middle was pretty good because they used some of that Silent Hill Jacob's Ladder sort of effects to move the head really quickly, and it was very shocking because I hadn't seen either movie yet, or at least I saw Jacob's Ladder, but I haven't seen it in a long time, so I don't know. It still affected me. I was like, holy shit, that's scary.
It's a cool effect.
But I was like 16 or 17, so a lot of things were kind of scary, like
oh my God.
being an adult.
I'm just reading the Wikipedia page for it, and it says the special effects in the film were designed by Gregory Nicotero,
who seems like it was
also did 13 Ghosts,
yeah,
who also does The Walking Dead and did The Mist. So yeah,
well, there you go.
He gets about. I think he's a sort of big in special effects in kind of Hollywood.
Yeah, I think he's kind of like the James Cameron and the Galaxy of Terror. The set was looking pretty good, but the whole Galaxy of Terror is shit. Why was he working there?
James Cameron's like, I'm going to make a better fucking Alien movie.
Yeah.
I made Aliens. Shit, I did. Oh, Robert Zemeckis produced these two films as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird. And Joel Silver as well. Yeah, it looks. I think it was a joint effort. It was made by the same production company as well, Dark Castle Entertainment. So I think it was just they were going through just remaking films from that era.
Kind of like with the fairy tales of late, where they're making Jack and the Giant Beanstalk, the Huntsman and the Wolf, or whatever the hell they call that shit. All these like fairy tale remakes into gritty, realistic remakes, and it just doesn't really work. But they powered through it anyway, hoping for the best, I guess.
I can't wait for the Humpty Dumpty gritty reimagining when they have like a big Lord of the Rings like fight scene right at the end, because I think that's what the story's always been missing.
Yeah, really, that's what it's all about anyway.
Yeah, he puts himself back together again, and he leads the armies of the something. Spoon Folk. There we go. Or maybe it's like it's like a tie into the Dizzy games on the ZX Spectrum and the Commodore back in the UK.
Yes, he is Humpty Dumpty.
He's a member of the Yoke Folk.
Yoke Folk.
That's the prequel.
Perfect.
Why do I remember these things? Someone help me. I don't remember stuff from school and high school, but I remember that the characters in the Dizzy games were called the Yoke Folk.
Well, it's because those things
the problem
matter.
I'm having.
The things at high school and all that kind of stuff doesn't matter at all.
What has happened to my brain?
The only thing that matters from high school is the people you remember from high school, not the lessons. None of those things matter. They're all wrong anyway.
It's wrong.
Do you say you remember the people? Because I don't even remember the people. I was just sat in the corner reading Stephen King books trying to be a goth.
Yeah. Well, when I say remember the people is that, I mean, like, there was at least 2 or 3 friends that came out of high school with me that I remember fondly because we're still friends. So that's that's what I mean by that. I don't really mean, like, the individuals everywhere, because I only remember one person's name, and it's just weird because I wasn't even friends with that guy. He just had a silly name. His name is, well, not really silly. It wasn't silly at all. And I'm not going to say it because it's better to be unsaid. But, yeah, like,
we shall not speak his name.
I blacked out high school for the most part, though. I was similar to you, Tom. Only I was reading, like, Hardy Boys books and Dragonlance. And then eventually Wheel of Time, which, that went to a 13-book epic. But at least it finished.
Listen to that George R. R. Martin, you hack.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's gonna. I don't want to get into it, but I'm gonna. I don't think he's even going to bother at this point. I really don't. I don't see why he would. There's no way he could finish this book series with any amount of hype that the show is going to steal from him, because he's going to have the singular honor of having somebody else finish his work for him before he dies.
Yeah.
Good point.
It's turning into a Half-Life 3 situation.
Yeah. And at this point, if I was him, I'd just write it out too. What's he got to lose?
Yeah, exactly. What was he going to lose money?
Yeah, he's going to keep his profit margin by keeping their hope alive.
Yeah, just release half a book. DLC following.
When will you say, Chris, look, I've had enough. I'm going to watch the TV show.
Well,
what would it take for you?
I've already watched the TV show. I've seen the first season. I owned the first season. It was fantastic. It's just that once it gets to the part,
watching?
I stopped watching after the first season because I was going to wait for the other seasons to get finished and watch them all at the same time. But that was before I realized that George R. R. Martin, who doesn't watch his TV show, by the way, from what I'm hearing, I could be wrong on that. I don't have a source to check on that, so just grain of salt on that. But I stopped watching it when the show didn't add Lady Stoneheart, who was one of the most important characters to me, because Lady Stoneheart is Catelyn Stark reanimated. But she's not in the TV show.
She's with is it the Brotherhood, isn't it?
Yeah, Dundarian.
Which seems a bit weird because I am only a TV show watcher, but they have the ability to bring people back to life. So I don't understand. It's not like it's not in the realms of possibility for the TV show anyway.
Exactly. I mean, they do that to some of the characters in the TV show still, and one of the major ones. And so it's like, why not continue? Why didn't they do that? And I remember reading something about how the actress who played Catelyn Stark just didn't want to be a zombie, so they worked with it.
That's fine,
but it's
don't
like,
come back.
Yeah, but like she was important as a pivotal plot device for Brienne to be on the walkabout looking for her daughters. And since that does not happen, except for the fact that eventually Sansa and Brienne meet or something. I don't. Like I said, I don't watch the TV show, but I hear the play-by-play from my coworkers, so I know how far off it gets. But I don't blame them for making the show go a wildly different direction, because Grum isn't finished with his own book yet. These guys are going to finish before he does, and they deserve all the credit they get, because Grum isn't done, and he's not going to finish. But people are still on Facebook, and like I said, I've seen this recently, people are still on Facebook like, George R. R. Martin is such a genius, I can't believe he did this, and this, and this, and that, and this in the TV show. And it's like, he doesn't even care about the TV show. He doesn't watch the TV show, from what I hear, and he didn't write that shit anyway. All the things that happen after like the second season are completely to the realm of the TV show producers and directors, not George R. R. Martin. And if it's supposed to end the same way, then how I see it ending in the TV show already, with Fire and Ice meeting, basically speaking, it just takes all of these plots, all these little like threads and weaves and things like that are interesting, like what happened to this person or that person, or why these people are important, and it makes all that stuff complete fluff, because none of it matters. You only have 3 characters who actually do matter, and then you have a fight between good and evil at the end, like every fantasy novel does, even though George R. R. Martin said to himself as he finds that incredibly boring and you want to do something better, but he's not doing anything better.
I heard him say it was going to finish with a human conflict.
Yeah, but it's not a human conflict, is it?
Well, they could get rid of the supernatural one and then end with a human one in the TV show. That is still on the table. But,
sure.
Well, to be fair, they only have 6 episodes left of the TV show.
Yeah. We're at that point where it's like we can see the ending coming, and there's not a whole lot of room left for exposition. So they're just going to have.
To be fair, it's kind of like the Ghostbusters defeating like, what is she called? Not Zoo, Gozer. It's like the Ghostbusters defeating that, and then like the final scene of the film is, they've just got to catch one of those generic normal ghosts.
Yeah, exactly, because that's a human story. That's the thing, is like what George R. R. Martin accidentally did was he created an anime backwards. You know, like he had all of this backstory and fluff, and then he gets to the 3 main characters. Whereas an anime would have the 3 main characters, and they would just constantly have backstory and fluff between them and the point, which may never get to the point if you watch things like Naruto or Bleach or whatever, because then Naruto just finished its 800 series episode run and starting another show called Boruto, which is Naruto's son
of Naruto,
doing the same fucking thing.
I saw the blurb on the front of that book, because I was looking at the book. I was like, Boruto, what the hell? I looked at it, and it's like, it's son of Naruto, and it says, the illustrator is really excited. This is his best story yet, and like, I'm thinking, no.
Some story.
Well, if it is your best story yet, why would anyone want to sit through 800 chapters of original Naruto when they could just skip to Boruto?
Yeah,
I was like, maybe I should just skip, right?
Oh god, like, you don't need all that stuff in between. So like Grum's story could have just been 3 books, and it would have been amazing. Like the first book could still end the way it did, with Ned Stark, and then like the next couple of books could have like time lapses in between to explain the dragons getting older and getting stronger and that kind of stuff. You don't need all these whining and pining for Dario from Daenerys. You don't need all that stuff. You don't need the Stockholm syndrome bullshit from Khal Drogo, because that's, people are like, oh, how romantic, when it was just abuse for like a couple of years. It's terrible, horrible abuse, and everyone's like, oh, I wish I had a Khal Drogo. You're the moon of my life. You want to get raped? I mean, what's wrong? These people, I swear, they just get so confused, like the whole Joker and Harley Quinn thing. It's like, that's a terrible relationship to idolize. Stop doing that.
They're going to make a movie now, aren't they? Like a Joker prequel that's going to have them in it.
Suck.
I heard it was supposed to be like Martin Scorsese produced and everything.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to make it like some kind of like period gangster film.
Well, it's not even part of the DC Expanded Universe films either. Apparently it's its own thing.
Oh, right. Also, so it's background that doesn't even matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And also, the whole thing with the Joker is that the less you know about him, the more interesting he is. And everyone always cites the Killing Joker as going, no, but that he explains that you see in his backstory, and his memories of what happened. And those people always miss out one fucking line that's in the book, is when he's talking to Batman, and he says, sometimes I remember it this way, sometimes I remember it some other way. He basically says he doesn't even know who he is anymore. That's the whole point of the book, is that he's so mad, he's remembering stuff, and he doesn't even know if it's fucking real.
Yeah.
Well, as a very surface level... Oh, sorry. You carry on.
Because he says, if I'm going to have... the direct hobby basically says, if I'm going to have a backstory, I'd like it to be multiple choice.
Yeah, I was just about to Google that. That was like my favorite line of that entire thing. He wanted to be multiple choice. It's him basically saying, I'm fucking crazy. You cannot save me because I'm so far gone. I don't even know if the memories I have are actually mine or real.
Yeah.
But instead, people were starting going, no, that's his backstory. It's not his official backstory. He even says as much.
Well, as a surface level, very surface level, kind of like Batman watcher, and I probably wouldn't call myself a fan. But I have seen the first two Nolan ones and a couple of the other ones. The one thing that I liked about, apart from being incredibly well acted, Heath Ledger's Joker, was that he kind of he tells one story about how he got his scars to one person, and then a completely different story to the other one, and only the audience knows that it's not sincere, or maybe it is sincere every time, and that's the kind of the psychosis. But I found that really interesting, as a surface level. Because
you start to think, does he even know that he's telling a different story at this point?
Exactly, he's just on some fucking fever dream the whole time.
Yeah. He's just going. He's saying everything that's come to his mind. He's like, I'll go with that. Yeah, he's not picking and choosing. He's just taking everything. I'll take all this stuff in my brain. So
I've got room.
So anyway,
speaking of 13 ghosts, though,
we're really stalling this one, aren't we?
Yeah, we're doing everything we can not to talk about it. That's what we're doing. We want to talk about something
we've
more
literally opened Wikipedia pages for half a dozen things as well.
I've got how many tabs? 5 tabs, 6 tabs.
I'm closing Robert Zemeckis. Close that one.
Yeah,
Robert Zemeckis. Why did you do this to us?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and just make some comments on it now, because I do have things I'd like to say about 13 Ghosts, and this is the time to make those sayings. So,
it is literally like the podcast to do that. So, go for it.
Go for it. I have gotten authorization. In the end, I do like this movie. I do because the major thing I like about it is the house. Really, the set design is fantastic. I don't think any of that, any of the glass walls with the Latin written on them, I don't think any of that's CGI. It looks like it's real to me.
No, it definitely looks like it.
Yeah, and all the chain winches and all the ropes and all the way the things, the walls move and shut, and the doors open, and the library, the floor. There's so much work put into that house. And I think it does look fan-fucking-tastic. It's worth watching just to see the house in motion. The other thing is that I doubt that the house was built from the ground up. It seemed more like they had the same hallway. They just sort of filmed from different angles, which is still fantastic, because I didn't even realize that till the end of the movie.
Oh no, definitely.
The way that house is the star of the show is worth watching by itself.
Oh yeah, you could definitely see where all the budget went, because that's the one thing I really took away from that I really liked. I kept saying it when we were watching it. I was saying it's annoying because I don't really like much else, but the set design is so good, and the design of the house looks so cool.
Yeah.
Because
although I would never live in a house like that.
No.
I'd just like to make it clear.
Yeah.
They're like, this dream house, and I'm like, this looks like a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. That's when you say, well, they're acting. They're definitely acting in this scene, that's for sure.
It's is this going to transform into the Lament configuration box? Is that what this is? I don't know what this building is. It looks like something from Hellraiser, but
yeah, that's the Hellraiser.
The design of it was brilliant, because it didn't look cheap. The set design did not look cheap.
Not at all.
It looked like it was made out of solid, thick glass. I think the only thing in the house that was, in terms of the house itself, that was CG was probably the contraption right at the end. But then obviously
that was obvious.
Trying to have something actually like that.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Tony Shalhoub, can you actually risk your life?
Well, aren't I doing that with this movie
I'm here to tell you, he did.
He did?
But yeah, the set design is fucking great. It's the one thing I will definitely defend the film, is that the set design is awesome.
Yeah.
And that's its lot.
But it's a huge deal to me because of how much glass there was. You know, you think of the budget for the movie, you think of the stacks of glass they had to like write Latin onto, and of course they can make mistakes. No one's going to proofread those glass walls unless they're like, actually Latin it doesn't translate correctly to what the spells say, and they're not going to do that. Unless they're just going to do that, and I don't know. I don't think anyone would do that, but I thought that was really, really good. The library was good. The office was good. The bathroom made sense, too, because the bathroom had clouded glass, so you still had privacy, which I thought was really good, even though I think it was like the only bathroom in the entire house.
Yeah,
and
which you can only get to at like 7 p.m. when the walls change.
Yeah, when the walls change, and also it's going to be cold in the winter, buddy. Let me tell you, glass is going to be crystal cold. So I thought that was, I still thought it was it looked really good, like well furnished and everything. That was great. Beyond that, though, the movie was just a cheap horror flick. It looked almost like, I don't know if you guys have these TV shows, like the makeup effects TV shows, like Face Off or I think Unmasked or something, where they have people compete to make costumes that would work in movie environments, and they have time and certain challenges, that kind of stuff. I don't know if you guys have those, but we do.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Oh,
yeah, well, we probably do. I just haven't seen them.
Okay. Well, yeah, my mom watches them all the time, so I end up catching glimpses of them. And the end results of those competitions, while they look good, if I were to see them like in the street, it wouldn't look like a person. It would definitely look like makeup on somebody. And that's kind of the effect that this movie had. Like, everyone looked like they were just wearing makeup. I mean, it's pretty obvious when you have a guy with, like, railroad spikes in his shoulders for some reason. But at the same time, it just sort of looked... It looked professionally amateur, like, well done, expert amateur level stuff. It didn't look like they were
I
wearing...
agree with you completely, actually. As in places, it looks really kind of caked on. And I think it's this kind of weird... I think the 2000s in general, just this kind of weird in-between, where in the 80s and 90s you had more kind of practical effects, and they worked. And in the sort of 2010s, you know, etc., you've got CGI that is good enough to pass for real life. So the early 2000s is like this kind of like weird in-between where, I don't know, like Jackass is on TV, so everyone's watching music videos, and it's just everything looks a bit kind of artificial and fake.
Yeah.
Including the CGI, which
the 2000s. Yeah, sorry. The 2000s just had that problem in horror anyway. I mean, the early 2000s, like the horror genre was a bit. Oof. It was in a bit of a sorry state. I can't remember many horror films that I liked from like 2000 to 2006 or 7, like that would like genuinely like really scary. I mean, now we've got stuff like that, you know, the horror films by James Wan and stuff like that. But the 2000s, because of the technology, like you were saying, it was in this in between where it didn't really know how to handle it.
Yeah, the only thing I can really think of in terms of horror that I enjoyed visually from that kind of time is The Ring, the remake of The Ring.
That works.
But I'm looking at a list of 2000s horror films, and they're kind of not great.
Yeah, it's
like
it's
Fear.com
weird,
and
oh Jesus, which was I think instantly directed by who was it? Directed by the was it this film?
I've just clicked on it. It's William Malone.
William Malone. Oh no, that was House on the Haunted Hill. But you can see. Oh no. Oh, that was it. The gentleman that directed this directed my other favorite horror film of all time, which is Ghost Ship.
Yeah, I think I almost picked Ghost Ship like 2 or 3 choices back, but that moment passed. It's okay.
Such a good movie. Such a good movie. Hey, we've got Gabriel Byrne. Oh, this is great. He does nothing the whole movie. So that sucks. He does like fucking nothing.
Yeah.
But he gets top billing because he's Gabriel fucking Byrne.
So, since we've already talked about the best part of the movie, now it's time to go downhill.
Well, no, I feel there, you know, as I was talking about those little gems, I feel there are a couple of gems that I can go to bat for. I really like, because he's so incredibly over the top, I really, really like Matthew Lillard in this movie. In fact, I was just enjoying every scene he was in easily the most, far and away, because he's basically been told, I guess, to act like he's permanently just completely unhinged.
Yeah.
And he's coughing and spluttering, and like I'd love the dedication. You know, he was like this big gob of spit on the floor, like when he was having one of his kind of little, I guess he calls them seizures or whatever. The way he was trying to explain ghosts, like in this really long, complicated way, and then he goes, "Oh, let's just do this the simple way. Ghosts, okay, ghosts." It's just something about him that makes me happy.
He was one of the highlights because I feel out of everyone in the film, he was the only person having fun.
Maybe I also feel like is it Cyrus? I feel like maybe he was having a little bit of fun being completely over the top.
Yeah,
it's a good thing that scenery, that set was physical,
made of glass,
thick, because he'd eaten all of it.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, he was like, pantomime levels of villain at times.
It was, and do you know what? One thing that's reminded me of is the opening. Now, I feel like a lot of what's wrong with this movie becomes clear in the opening and then just carries on throughout the movie. If you remember, the opening is the part in the I guess it's like a junkyard, with all the cars, and they're trying to capture that ghost. And I was seriously, I mean, it didn't help. We were kind of trying to tidy up the house at the time, so there was a Hoover going on and off, and I was kind of sat up against the TV with the volume way up. But even then, sat in front of the TV with the volume way up, I struggled to pick out half the lines. They're like shouting over all this noise, like background noise, like wind and stuff and he's like shouting exposition. Like if you look at the dialogue written on the page, it's like, how can we sum up this 1,000-word plot synopsis in like 15 lines? So it's like, don't forget why we're here. It's to do the XXX with the thing Y. And he's like, no, I've already told you. It's a really bad idea. Because of that one thing with the doodle flip and the whatchamacall.
And as the viewer, you're just sat there going,
exposition, and you can't hear half of it because it's being shouted over this massive like noise.
Yeah,
it's just like, and you're like, wait, no, Matthew, can you speak up, please? I can't hear you. Oh no, the camera.
And then in comes the I guess they're ghost lifers or whatever they are. Like, you know, how dare you do this to human spirits and stuff. And it's like, oh, you away with you silly billies. And it's like,
you Philistine.
It's like, oh, we've got to introduce these guys for later, and we've got to introduce these people for later, and like all cram it into like 10 seconds of this fucking set piece at the start.
I love the fact that there's those two come in spouting all that while the ghost, which I believe that one was called the Juggernaut, is literally ripping people in half.
Yeah.
You gotta leave these poor spirits alone.
Please leave these poor spirits alone to kill, what is it? He said like he's killed 23.
Yeah.
Like 10 of them posthumously.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, maybe locking this motherfucker up is a good idea.
Yeah.
Just gonna say, you know, maybe he's doing a good. I mean, obviously we know later on it wasn't a good thing, but
right.
Maybe letting this thing roam around a junkyard, ripping people in half, wasn't the best idea.
Yeah, like that was one of the things I took away from the movie. It was the lady who wanted to save all the souls, and it's like it's not really clear that they need saving, and it's not really clear how they're going to save them. It's not really clear that they will go to wherever safety is if they were offered the opportunity, because they just seem to really enjoy hanging around, doing what they're doing, and killing people and stuff. So she just didn't seem to fit at all in the entire movie.
Oh, totally. She was fucking dreadful as well. But if like at that point as well, it almost feels like you've walked in either midway through a film or you've walked in to a sequel to a film you haven't seen.
Yeah.
She's like, what? Who are they? No, what is going? What? No, who are you? What? No, I don't know what's going on. And you still don't really find out that much about her besides the twist later on.
Yeah.
But it's just really.
You're right about that intro. It just feels like the conflict, or the scene leading to the conflict resolution of the end of a normal movie, is the intro to this movie, and then the scene after that is like a family scene of some kind.
Even before that, when they, because this is, I guess, an example of doing exposition well. They kind of have that shot of them playing outside, and then as it moves around the room, things change, and you kind of hear the noises, and you're like, oh, this is what happened and stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember, speaking of Twilight, there's a shot in Twilight, the second one, which is just like this, where she's sat in a chair and it just revolves around her, and the like seasons outside change, and that's what it reminded me of. But I think this is like one of the first times I'd ever seen kind of like a credit scene, because it is a credit scene. It's just flashing up credits the whole time while it spins round.
Yeah, that's true.
And not much happens visually, but you kind of hearing all this kind of stuff in the background. I did kind of like that.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
fine.
a lot better than doing it the first way.
Well, because
it
exposited that something bad had happened to his family, and you kind of got the gist of it, which is really kind of head scratching considering we just had the scene before, which had no idea how to get across its exposition. And in the title sequence for one of the main characters, thankfully it was one of the main characters, you go, okay, cool, something bad happened, great. And then they still exposit it anyway for the people in the cheap seats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then they're like...
They had the stereotypical, like, oh, the kid is obsessed with death, so he's talking about, like, death and everything. Yeah. And it's like, oh, you know, since mom died.
Yeah. I always like exposition
it is heavy-handed even then, I guess.
I always like exposition like that. And it's like, listen, Timmy, I know it's been hard since your mother died in that car crash approximately 4 years and 7 months ago to this day. I know it's been difficult. I love it when they do that in films, like even films I like. I like it when they do it because like no one talks like that.
Yeah. Do you know what I love? It's the scene where you've got two men and they're kind of talking, and like literally the second line in, the other one goes to him, "Come on, I'm your brother." It's like, thanks for that. I'm sure you probably already knew that.
Yeah. In case you forgot, man, we're blood related. You've known me all your life.
So the audience goes, oh, but like no one's... I don't walk up to my brother and go, how you doing, bro?
Hey, remember, Matt, we're brothers.
Yeah, we're brothers. How can you treat me like this? Oh, okay, so they're brothers.
Well,
so the people on the streets can go, oh.
I actually have to interject on that. My brother does call me bro constantly.
Okay.
I mean, that's fine. That's different. But
He's like, what's up, bro? Hey, bro, what you doing? You know, that kind of stuff. He doesn't use my name. He always calls me bro. And that's been sort of a recent thing, but it sort of contradicts what you guys are saying, that sometimes brothers do identify each other as brother, though I never, ever call him brother. I just call him
that sounds
Jason.
kind of nice. We just make up nasty names for each other. he calls me Tom Lee Bomley, and I because his initials are MJ, I call him Mary Jane.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to try bro.
That sounds like some kind of like. That sounds like some kind of like fantasy tale, doesn't it? Tombly Bombly, The Adventures of Tombly Bombly and Mary Jane.
It's very much kind of like Chris won't get this, but In the Night Garden sounds very kind of In the Night Garden. It's like a preschooler's, like Barney the Dinosaur.
I was actually going to say something like that, but I didn't want to be like, it sounds very British. To say Tombly Bombly, it just sounds like, stereotypically speaking, I don't really know, but it sounds like that, so I kind of figure I get it a little bit.
It's just also it just sounds wonderful in a British accent. It's one of those words, isn't it, where you go, tumbly bumbly.
Yeah, it sounds like some Cockney thing that somebody else would say. So, that's funny, though. I should try bro. Yeah, you should. It's kind of a term of equal respect, kind of, You
guys should try some respect.
Yeah, have you done that before? But, man, going back to that kid, though, I was frustrated at the end of it, because the kid doesn't do anything in the movie. The kid is set up to be like this death-obsessed character because his mom passes, and it's basically just used as a conversation piece in the beginning of the movie, and then he just sort of fucks off for the rest of the movie until the very end, where he's important because he's somebody's kid.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
I do like it. Again, we're going back to things in films I love. Like, they always do it in horror films as well, when there's a child on their own and there's like a creepy basement, and they hear a voice, and it's never like a voice like, "Hey Johnny, come on downstairs."
Yeah.
It's that someone that sounds like their parent, because
it's ghostly and ethereal, and they still go.
It's like, "Come downstairs."
Ooh,
and the kid goes, "Daddy." Like, don't think so. Like, do these filmmakers not remember what it's like being kids? Kids don't like creepy basements.
Yeah, kids.
Which I have mentioned.
They'll go, hey, I can't see anything down there. There's a voice telling me to come down and play. I'm good. It's okay, because he's got his tape deck with him.
Right. Now, even as a kid, I didn't like my own basement. So, I mean, all the way up to like mid-teens, probably. It's like when I turn the light off going upstairs, I turn the light off at the bottom of the stairs because that's where the light switch was, and then I'm walking up in darkness. So it's like something's coming after me. Open the door. Okay, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly. I've been a bit, because that's the thing is I've always said that the thing that about the dark that's always frightened me, like I don't like pitch black now, and it's not because I think there's a monster there. It's the fact that there could be something there.
Yeah.
It's the fact that you can't see anything. That's what's scary. It's just an inherent natural fear, I think. It's very instinctive. I can't see anything.
A very natural response because you're being deprived of at least one of your major senses. So anything could be there. Even if it's like a Lego you're going to step on or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Lego, mainly. Usually Lego.
Lego is the source of all nightmares. When I worked
one thing worse than the Lego, and that's an upturned plug. And believe me, you do not want to step on that.
Oh, that sucks.
When I worked at
everyone's cringing their feet right now. Me too.
When I worked at a movie theater, the scariest room that's pitch black is a movie theater room itself, like with no movie, no light whatsoever, because there's all these empty chairs. Right? And you're in the fucking movie theater, and it's dark, and you start thinking maybe there's someone in these chairs. Anyone in these chairs. Everyone's in these chairs. They're all looking at me, and they can see in the dark, and I can't. And it's like, if I walk forward and I hit a chair, will I also hit a human leg? Will there be someone sitting there staring at me? That kind of thing. And we actually used to dare each other just to turn the lights off and see if you can go all the way into the theater, turn around, and come all the way back, all the way through it. And I didn't want to do it. I just you know what? I know there's nothing in there, but there could be any one of these motherfuckers who I'm just not accounting for right now, sitting in one of those chairs, ready to scare the shit out of me, and it's gonna be funny for everyone else. The only way I can escape this risk is if I don't go in there at all. So I'm gonna
I just tell them to fuck off.
Yeah, just tell them to fuck off. And what, are you scared? Nah, I just don't think it's safe.
Yeah, I don't feel safe.
Yeah.
That's why. But it's we were playing my girlfriend and I, because we've been getting very slowly getting through Silent Hill 1, because we don't play it that often. When we do, we make pretty good progress. We've nearly finished the hospital now, and we even started that today.
Yeah.
We played it for 40 minutes to an hour. And we were talking about how it's just the hospital was just creepy. And I think the reason why something like an abandoned school, an abandoned mental asylum and a hospital, stuff like that, the reason it's so creepy and scary is because your brain is saying, there should be people in here. There should be this should be populated.
Yeah.
This is a large building. Why is there no one here? It's creepy.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why they're just so inherently unsettling.
Yeah.
That's why kids in movies are stupid.
No, I just keep thinking, right now, it's man, we got off track of 13 Ghosts again. We just keep running from ghosts.
we cannot escape our destiny.
Yeah. So the kid, worthless character, his sister, who is way older.
Yeah, what happened there?
Way older. She's 20-something, and he's 4.
Yeah.
Or he's more like 6, probably. I don't know. Not really 4. He could form better sentences and that kind of stuff, but still,
he's still an idiot.
She's definitely 23.
Yeah, she's another character that doesn't really feel like she has anything to really offer to the movie besides, I'm your child, save me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm your child, save me.
Do anything.
Right.
I mean, it could be worse. She could literally be the token black character.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they saved that for the maid.
Well, I know. I'm like, okay, she's like your housekeeper, and she's black, and she's like, what you talking about? And
I ain't paid to do that kind of shit.
Yeah.
I ain't crazy.
I don't do Windows.
Pay me to do that, sir.
Yeah.
I was like, she was once. I was like, I thought she's gonna call him boss in a minute. I'm sorry, boss. It was. I'm just like, oh my god, we've come quite far in 17 years. Holy shit. It's just such a stereotype. She's literally, not only is she the comic relief, she's the token black character, she's the housekeeper / maid. She's job talks. It's she's all of them. She's just tick, 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 tick. Perfect.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they did that now in a movie? Holy shit.
Yeah. It wouldn't go over very well.
No.
Like it's sad in a way though. Like I wouldn't approve of the character because one, just like the two kids, that character doesn't really have a spot in the movie at all, except for when she saves everyone by using hip hop record scratching stuff.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah, I was like, are you fucking serious? I still think that people should be allowed to make characters like that, especially for parody purposes. Like it shouldn't be outlawed for political incorrectness or whatever you want to call it. It should just be like something like, yeah, this is kind of funny because we used to do stuff like this and we're better than that. But this movie is like, are we still doing that? Yeah. All right, let's do that.
Movie plays it straight. And yeah, I'd forgotten about the record scratching. That's 5. Let's take another thing.
Exactly.
It's like, yo. I'm like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, just
make it stop.
Take the tapes off the player. Spells stop. Done.
Yes, that might be better.
Yeah, and then you won't stand there vulnerable the whole fucking time. You could run away with them or whatever. It would definitely disrupt everything.
Yeah. So let's see, how many characters in this film are actually useful? 2. Really?
Yeah, I mean they're just there to be in peril.
Yeah.
Yeah, that damsels in distress, as it were.
I think, to be fair, at least the movie kind of notices that by just focusing on the ghosts.
Basically writes them
cool.
out. Like,
there's like 13 ghosts. Roll up and watch people get terrorized.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with ghosts as well is that they obviously, like Greg Nicoteri was obviously didn't have the highest budget to work with because some of them, like we were saying, look a little. But the problem is they've made there's all these cool designs. And then because the movie is the way it's shot and filmed and edited and all that, its attention span is so poor that we can't even focus on how cool they look because it's like the constant flashing, the in and out of them being seen. And I wouldn't mind so much, but these characters have the glasses on at that point, which I assumed would mean you could see them.
Yeah, that's true.
And instead, it's flash, and it's not. And it does that thing. It's a very late 90s, early 2000s thing in terms of just films in general. Anyway, they do that thing where they're like, yeah, so we're gonna have like flash cuts, okay, and we're gonna have a sound effect like a whooshing thing. Please don't. Please make it stop. Please make it go away. It felt like it was like, I mean, they probably did, but it's like the director started out making music videos. And
it has a real music video feel. This is something I didn't realize until watching it this
time.
time.
Yeah, that's true.
And then it's almost like went, yeah, that worked for like when I did that music video for Korn. I'll go make a movie like that. Please don't do that. Poor Greg.
Yeah, wow.
Melodies are cool things. Like, yeah, well, yeah. He watches the dailies back and just starts crying. Like,
one day I'll make The Walking Dead.
He's like directs episodes of that shit now.
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
But I think the only thing I can really say, I mean, I know I'm getting right into it, but this movie annoyed me, and that's why I'm going to have a bit of Disaronno.
Oh no, Disaronno's nice.
Man, I'm on water. It's not fair.
Well, it was my birthday weekend, so you know.
Yeah, Disaronno. I hadn't had that in a long time.
Smooth.
That used to be my drink in uni.
Disaronno
and cranberry juice.
Oh, it goes well with Coke as well.
It does. It goes lovely in Coke. So does Malibu. I used to drink all those kind of like, I guess they're kind of sort of girly spirits. That's what they're known as.
Yeah, nah, it's so proliferated.
I was just like, I don't care.
There's no such thing as a girly spirit anymore, unless you get like a daiquiri or something like that, where that's still in the realm of girly.
Yep, I used to drink strawberry daiquiris when we went to Tacos Locos.
Okay, that's fine. It's still fine. I'm just saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's still on the girly side. But as far as like Disaronno and Malibu rum and all these other things that are better to talk about than 13 Ghosts are.
Fuck you, Steve Beck.
There's a pub chain over here, Chris, called Wetherspoons. And we would go into Wetherspoons because Wetherspoons provided the uni student of the time the cheapest possible method of getting drunk as quickly as possible. Aside from the fact that a bottle of wine in there cost as little as £7 and you could down it all and be very tipsy very quickly.
Yes.
They would do all these kind of cocktails that kind of neon colours, you know, like blue and pink and red. And my kind of like, I guess one of my core principles in life is red drink tastes good. So
red drink tastes good.
They would have names like Jelly Baby and Woozle Doozle and all this kind of stuff.
Sounds fun.
But that was all in the past, and now I'm just left with 13 ghosts
13
and
ghosts.
water.
Yeah.
Drink a bottle of Disaronno because this
Regretting
movie
my
makes me
life
sad.
choices and wishing I had pizza on sale.
Pizza on sale. Buy one, get one half off. I don't mean the pizza, I mean the price.
See, I could just read the label on the back of this bottle of Disaronno and, you know, it'd still be better than this movie.
Yeah, we haven't really touched on the plot, but it really it's a really short plot.
Did you know Disaronno is made out of almonds?
It's
I didn't
really
know
good. Yeah, almonds are nice.
Yes. Well, okay. Let me steer us way back into topic. So
Topic
essentially,
waters.
the conceit of the movie is, I'm guessing if you listen to this, you've probably seen it, but just in case you haven't, this guy, is his name Arthur? Yeah, Arthur Kritikos. No one has that surname, by the way. Played by TV's monk Tony Shalhoub, who we enjoyed in 1408. Yeah, I think he was in that 1408. He's a widower, and his family get invited to go and stay in a cool see-through mansion because apparently his uncle died and left it to him, and recorded this really cool message while like smoking a cigar, which I kind of liked.
Huh.
You know, like, I'm not just going to record a message. I'm going to sit here with a cigar, and then like it disappears, and then he comes back on and says something else.
Like, that's not how they work.
No.
I have to interject
anyway,
real quick because you said Kritikos was not a surname anyone actually had. It actually means critic.
Okay.
And it's Greek, and it's probably
is
somebody's
that
last
someone's
name.
surname though?
You know what? I haven't checked that. I'm so sorry. I was like, oh, meaning. I'm gonna go meaning. Oh wait, I'm bad. I am so bad. Name, meaning, family history, origins of the Kritikos surname, genealogy. So it is a surname. It is a surname.
Okay, I'll give them that then.
Yeah.
But
family history.
that doesn't excuse anything else.
Photo collections.
Oh.
You what?
I was like, photo collections, achievements, and celebrities. I'm just reading off shit now.
You're just reading other shit. Okay,
Yeah, go on.
let me just power through this, and we'll get to the end somehow.
This movie sucks.
Still trying to steer away from it, and I'm trying to steer towards it.
Anyway, they get invited to the house. They get locked in with a guy who helped the uncle catch ghosts. The lawyer splits.
Uh-huh.
It would be funny if they didn't actually make that joke in the movie.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I think he split.
Yeah, and eventually, as the house is kind of like a puzzle box, and as time goes on, you know, like I've got to laugh. The lawyer guy comes in and takes that case, and lifting the case up with his money in it is what begins the trap off.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's so like your whole plan hinges on like this one bag being lifted, like at the right time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you not just had like a pressure plate when they walked in?
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to build a fucking like mansion, puzzle box, ghost house thingy, surely you can kind of like build that in. It doesn't have to be just like, oh, he picks up a bag and it's like Mousetrap. It's like fucking Mousetrap.
Yeah.
You pick up the bag, the thing, the winch goes round, the thing falls on the mouse, and everyone gets eaten by ghosts.
Everyone gets eaten by ghosts.
Well, yeah, what exactly do ghosts do to people? They just kill them. They don't actually devour them, or
ghosts are spooky. Spooky ghosts.
Spooky ghosts.
Yep.
Okay. I'm glad we cleared that up.
I mean, it's very lucky that one of them, in particular, the guy with the baseball bat. It's very lucky that the baseball bat can actually hurt people as well. Even though I'm not sure how he can have a ghost bat. You know, I mean, it's very impressive.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
does that mean that if I die clutching,
is it the ghost of an actual bat, or
yeah, it's a bat spirit.
Ghost bat. Oh, it's bat ghost.
So what happens if, like, you know, you die holding your signature weapon, but that the ghost of your signature weapon is okay and has no unfinished business and moves on? Then what are you going to do?
You're left alone, and you're a joke of a killer. I mean, does that mean maybe it's like he's just whatever he had when he died, he was clutching? So if I died clutching my lovely bottle of Disaronno, does that mean that I would then as a ghost have a bottle of Disaronno that I could drink for eternity? Because that would be really good.
That'd be really great. Or you could like die clutching
The
your
drunken
fleshlight.
priest, ghost number 15.
screeching to a halt.
Cyrus was Ghost. The movie makes me sad. It makes me sad for Matthew Lillard as well.
Yeah, he did do good. I'll say this, Tommy. He did do good in the movie. Like one of the good things about him being crazy in the movie constantly was that when he dies later and comes back as a ghost, like with unfinished business, I guess. I mean, he was very calm because he's naturally calm, I suppose. You know, he's not like all the time. And it was like such a huge like character displacement thing that it kind of felt, oh yeah, that's he's finally at peace. That was good
you could tell
character
that he had a
development.
life of everyone touching him and him having weird psychic flashes. He just had enough, and once he got that peace, he was kind of calm and serene. I did kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
He realised that even after this, he'd still have a career. So
yeah,
I think that's
still have a career.
But yeah, he what I liked about him is that he just gives when he's on the screen, like he gives the film a bit of soul. Like, it makes it a bit fun and entertaining. Like it's a goofy haunted house film. That doesn't really get any of it right, but because he's so over the top, it just makes it a little bit more fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then of course they kill off the only entertaining character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can just have Tony Shalhoub just not act throughout the entire film.
It's
like,
so bland, really isn't
sad.
he? It's like complete milquetoast.
I'm just getting out of here. I just need to get my family out.
I need to save my family. That is everything I'm going to say every time.
That's my character motivation. Is I just want to save my family.
I just love my family so much that I trapped them in a ghost box, and now I love them so much I'm going to get them out of said ghost box.
Yeah,
exactly. And then you got Matthew Lillard, who he hates at one point, and then after like one little line of dialogue, he's like, "I'm sorry, I hate you. Come the best friends now."
Yeah, well, I like that scene. That scene is just complete whiplash. It's kind of like those edits you're talking about, because he's like. He's like, he ain't got nothing to do with it, don't worry. And then she drops the bomb and he goes, you bastard, hits him. And then, like, it's like on a dime. It just changes.
Yeah.
Like, you okay, man?
I did like...
Sorry, I had nothing else to say.
Just drank. I did like the one scene, though, where Matthew Lillard and Shalhoub pick up that glass and use it as a weapon to explore the hallway with. I thought that was really cool. Like, I didn't think of a way to practically kill the ghosts. And if it did kill the ghost, which it looked like it killed the ghost, then there'd only be 12 ghosts or 11 ghosts. So the ending doesn't really make any sense. But I did like that they used that to like press against a ghost, against another glass wall with all the same Latin on it. So like the ghost literally has nowhere to go, no space to exist, because the law is pressing on him from both sides. It just sparks. I was like, oh, that was awesome. And then like, where'd he fucking go? Like, is he dead?
Then, no, it's just back at the end. Oh, okay.
Yeah, all right, whatever.
I liked that when Matthew Lillard's like, no, I think this is the part in the movie where the side character has to sacrifice themselves.
Pretty much.
And he leaves Tony Shalhoub like pressed up against, like wedged there with the glass panel, and then obviously he dies horribly. And then what I could think of was, can you imagine if he like wedged it in a bit too hard and Tony Shalhoub just couldn't get out? Like, what? No, I can't. No, I can't actually. Oh.
No, wait, Matthew. Actually, I'm kind of stuck.
No, can you come back? No, hello.
Boom, 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 boom.
While we're talking about pointless stuff that didn't need to happen, I think this movie would be perfectly alright if that witch wasn't somehow like his weird lover / friend helper person. Because at the start, you're meant to think that the lawyer is just carrying out a load of proceedings that have kind of been left behind for him to do, and obviously he thinks he's getting paid for it. But the bag releases the trap, so so her being there has no point whatsoever. It's like just a twist that means nothing, and then she gets squished anyway.
Yeah, it's just it's there just so there's a twist.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
I just don't.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
It's a gotcha. It's just so they can give you a gotcha. And you're like, what? Why? If he's alive, why did they set up a contraption where he had to pick up a suitcase?
They've got the main gotcha is supposed to be that he's alive and he's not dead. You still have that at the end when Monk works it out for himself.
Right.
So it seems a bit pointless, and it seems like they should have left it for the audience till then as well. Rather than revealing it to the audience beforehand. It's just kind of... It's so strange.
You you just go, okay. And he has that, and then because early on, they're like, when they come in, there's all like the samurai armor and there's the swords and that, and they kind of make a point of them like looking at the swords. So when you find out Cyrus is alive and he pulls the sword out of his sword cane, I was like, there's a samurai armor and sword over there. Go on, Tony, run over and pick up the sword. No, you're just gonna sit there and get your ass kicked like a little bitch. And then suddenly the ghosts kill him. Why did the ghosts kill Cyrus again?
Did they?
I guess because he trapped them.
No, but like they get let out because of. Is it no? It's because their maid, played by Ra Digger.
Yes.
She does the Skippy thing with the record player, doesn't she? And they're like, oh, the spell is broken.
Yeah. Although I forget to mention, they're not records, they're tapes, like large tape rolls.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
I mean, the Ricka scratching the CD or scratching the record thing doesn't actually apply there, I don't think. But I could be wrong. I don't do that stuff for a living, so I'm sure if it didn't work, she would be like, "Yo, that's not how this works." Because that's what I would say if I was a professional and they were trying to tell me to do my profession, and it's like, that's not the tool that I use for my profession. I'd be like, this isn't real. You really want me to do this? We'll pay you $10,000 more just to do it. All right.
Stop asking questions.
Done.
Fine, sure. Whatever you say.
I still get to put my hit track at the end of this movie, right? All right, cool.
Yep.
I mean, so... there's never really anything to go over in terms of the plot because it's just
it's so circumstantial.
The actual and the whole juice of the plot, if there is,
juice
comes along
plot
so
juice.
Plot juice.
Comes along so late into the film that it just then, like the rest of the movie itself, just can't focus on it. It just whizzes through it.
Yeah.
They go, oh, they met a thing. Oh, she's a bad thing. Oh, she's dead now. They got a thing. Oh, they got another thing. Oh, the thing's blown up. Oh, he has to save a thing with a thing. Oh, they're safe. That's the movie.
There just seems a large period in the middle where it's just kind of, and then stuff happens.
Yeah, and then
they all clapped.
And then Matthew Lillard was Ghost.
Yes.
Right.
You, Arthur, you must be the 13th ghost.
So yeah, what was the plot again? He wanted to.
He needed to deactivate the Oculus Infernum. The Oculus Infernum is the eye of hell, which contains all knowledge. Which I do give it credit for. Religiously speaking, since Adam and Eve ate the apple to gain knowledge, and they're forbidden by God to do it. Well, the opposite of that would be to have like this well of knowledge in hell. So I kind of like that they made that symbolism there. The thing is, the activation method of it was to gather 12 specific ghosts, and then a 13th ghost, which was supposed to be a willing sacrifice, which was supposed to be Tony Shalhoub. His name is Tony Shalhoub, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
His name is Monk.
His name is Monk.
Carry on.
So Monk has to sacrifice himself to this machine, and the only way to get him to do that willingly would be to say that, hey, it saves your family if you do it. And he's like, oh, well, I'm definitely here to do that. That's what the script says, so I'm going to do that. And then... he gets it in his head when Matthew Lillard dies, and Matthew Lillard gives him the information of how he's always had the power to save his family. He doesn't need to throw his body into the machine to get to happen. So he's like, oh, okay. So he does math, because he's a math teacher, and I actually really like that. He's a math teacher to count the rings and their movements and then jump at the right time to save his kids. So yeah, I'm giving it some positive credit here. I mean, it does have some sort of path that it's trying to take. And then once he saves his kids and gets them out of there, and the hip-hop happens and the spells are broken, the Oculus Infernum ceases to function, and everything goes to hell. Literally? Question mark? And then the other 12 ghosts walk off into wherever, hopefully not to terrorize other people like they had been doing up to this point. And his wife, who is a ghost, says hi to him and says blah, 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 and he always loves her and that kind of stuff. And it's very sweet until you realize that there's no way in hell Tony Shalhoub can ever marry again because he knows his wife is watching.
Well, yeah, I was just expecting, like, as she's disappearing, he's just like, under his breath, he goes, I'm fucking the maid.
What?
I told you now, it's cool. You can't attack me.
I did like the fact as well that she's the non-vengeful one because obviously she's his wife, but she looks okay except she's got a little bit of a burn on her one side of her face.
Yeah.
Well, if she was a burn victim to the point of death, there would be a whole lot more burn victim instead of what she got. So she came out lucky, really, when you consider it.
And how much does it suck for her? Like they can all like move around and do stuff. She's got to carry that IV drip everywhere.
Once again, proving the point that the last thing you hold on to goes with you in the afterlife.
Oh my god, we've hit upon
make it count.
a theory here.
Yeah, so like I said, check what you got. Like, don't bring a fleshlight to the afterlife.
You go up to the pearly gates. What is that?
What's that in your hand?
It's my flashlight.
You know what they are, right?
You know, I thought it was. It went all dark, so I grabbed what I thought was a flashlight. As you just look at you're looking at him. He's looking at you.
You gonna
go on in?
You gonna use that, or can I borrow
wash your hands? Like there's a sink to the side of the gates.
Put it in there.
Oh my god, there's a do not carry on box at the gates of heaven.
A box full of them.
And it's just like any sharp objects, any knives, any fleshlights. They've all got to go in the box.
Like
in the box. Come on.
Ninja stars.
That's the only way you get in. Oh boy. Now, see, all you've got me thinking about now is what do I want to die? What do I have holding in my hands when I die, so that I can use it in the afterlife?
Will it count if you
have
your hands on the
That's
steering?
all I can think about.
If you have your hands on the steering wheel of your car, do you get the whole car, or just the steering wheel?
It's just like the start of Rush Hour when Jackie Chan's got it like handcuffed to it.
Yeah, exactly. This is my heaven. What?
Oh no, you could like die holding one of those voice changing things, so you can like creep people out when you're dead.
Yeah.
Don't go in the basement.
I
love doing that.
Little kids fall for it every time.
That's awesome.
You know what would be worse than a fleshlight though? A Dakimakura pillow.
Sorry, a what?
Oh, sorry, one of those waifu pillows.
Oh, okay.
Oh god.
Whatever you said the first time wasn't waifu, but the second time.
No, the first time it was Dakimakura pillow. That's what they're called, and you can have them as with your waifu or with like people like Hideo Kojima. I've seen one of those. No joke. I think it was a Dragoncon. Somebody was carrying around a Dakimakura pillow of Hideo Kojima. So it's like, okay, you're gonna go to sleep with that. Now bring that into the afterlife with you when you die. Like, oh fuck, eternity, right? Yeah. God damn it. What's that? No, nothing. I didn't say anything.
They're a little strange.
They are.
They're on the strange side.
Especially the one with Starscream on it.
Yeah. There's one with someone's sellotaped Nicolas Cage's face onto it. So there's
fucking hell. There's always one with Nicolas Cage's face on it.
Oh, you guys are reminding me of something. Like, I can't remember when I saw it, but when I saw it, I think that was when my innocence left me completely in regards to the internet. And that was, and my wife's shaking her head. You do not want to hear this, okay?
Oh, I want to
hear it.
The
picture I saw was of someone had taken a photo of their bed where they had, between two mattresses, they had wedged a fleshlight of some description. And on the mattress, they had, it was a picture of Yoda.
Oh, fuck.
But like, not CGI Yoda, the weird prosthetic Yoda that they filmed originally for episode 1 before they then put a CGI one in afterwards.
Oh no.
Wow.
And I was like, oh man.
My innocence.
And now I've shared that with you.
Yeah, and with everyone who's listening to this podcast, all 2 or 3 of them. Well, maybe us. In the future, we'll hear this again.
Yeah, we've definitely lost them now.
If I am listening to this in the future, I hope I've given at least 10 or 20 years thought to what I'm going to have in my hands when I die. So
enter it in the comment section.
Yeah.
Comment below and tell us what you do.
What would you like to die with?
It could be arranged.
Yeah,
I know, right? I was thinking of a scary movie.
Like,
what's your favorite scary movie? What would you like to die with?
Oh, no reason.
Get on to Hollywood.
What if you like died with a single Lego brick in your hand? Like you just had a brain aneurysm while building your Millennium Falcon Lego piece, and then you just had like the last part, and it wasn't even like an important part. It's like the last 2-stud blue piece that just goes on there somewhere, and you die with that in your hand. It's like go to heaven with that. You're like, really? You fucking kidding me?
You can't even torment people with it because it's so small.
Yeah.
It's not even a big piece. It's like having haunted houses and just like leave Lego bricks everywhere.
Yeah. Just have the one.
I'm the worst ghost.
The frustrated constructor.
Yeah. I can't even put this on anything. I can't put anything on it. It's just a 2-stud blue piece of Lego that's it's eternally in my hands. It's purposeless, and I have no purpose.
You can't even drop it.
Yeah.
It's like you want to, but you can't.
It's just in your fingers, like between your thumb and forefinger, all the time. Maybe one day you'll learn to like roll it between your fingers like a coin. That'd be kind of cool. But otherwise, while you're watching like somebody who died.
Did we even finish? We finished the movie.
It's
What are we
done.
even talking
Fuck
about?
it.
It's
Fuck
done.
the movie.
It's done.
Did we finish it?
Yeah.
We got the plot
final
out there.
scene
Nobody
is
cares.
The maid going, this is it. Quit. And then it cuts to the hip hop.
The rap music.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, that gave me so much tonal whiplash. I nearly, like, my head nearly detached.
Yeah.
It reminded me of Scary Movie, which also has like an Eminem song on the credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, but that's a parody. Even a bad parody,
exactly.
but it's still a parody.
Do you remember? I think it was Gears of War 1, where you finished the game and then you had like the credits going up, and it's like the sound, you know, the musical score, and then if you stick through the credits for so long, it has that remixed rap song by
like the Coltrane.
Coltrane.
Yeah.
That's funny because it's all like a little Easter egg, because it's, you know, thanks for sticking around. Now you've got something funny. You don't finish Gears of War with "the war is just beginning" with "whoa." Like, you don't do that. Like, why would you do that? Why did they make these movies?
Yeah. Well, all I know is that
Why did they make the Bye Bye Man?
Why did they make the Bye Bye Man?
Why
What
did
if
they
you
do it?
died holding a copy of the Bye Bye Man?
Fuck. I think you just.
That's
stuck
why
in
you
limbo.
died.
Yeah, you'd be stuck in limbo because God would be like, no, I'm sorry, man. You go into hell and Satan's like, get the fuck out
Yeah,
of here.
you can't bring that in here.
Shit.
Check that at the door.
You get that shit. You get that shit out of here. Get him out there. Like the demons have to hold him back because he's so angry.
Yeah.
Get him out of it.
Oh man. But you know, like in the 90s, maybe late 80s or late 90s, a lot of movies kind of ended with like rap hip hop songs. Like the original Turtles movie ended with one, you know. And I kind of liked it back then because it sort of like, I don't know, had a fun vibe to it. And I think that they mistakenly chose to do the same thing with this movie, and it just doesn't really work because like the ending of the movie isn't like, yeah, I feel good. Good things happen, you know, the good guys won, beat the bad guys, Ghostbusters. You know, it's more like, wait, what? Huh? Why? Okay.
Why is that here?
What happened here is that 12 or so ghosts that were contained and safe and not killing people have now been released back into the wild.
Yeah.
A well-loved and missed philanthropist
Yeah.
and his house have gone up in smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just...
Feels good, man.
Yeah. I'm glad that happened. You know what? You guys have convinced me. I mean, there are a couple of nuggets in here I like. Matthew Lillard, basically.
Yeah. The house.
Mm-hmm.
The house, and maybe some of the concepts of the ghosts are kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think that's even just because they have a kind of a backstory, and I kind of like... They're like proto-creepypastas of just like, oh, the Torn Prince is this kid who died in high school, you know, in a car race. So you get like a cool little nifty creepypasta about that. And then like, you know, well, I was actually going to ask you guys actually what your favourite ghost was. Like in concept and or visuals.
Yeah, I don't really...
If you can bring yourself to give enough of a shit to answer that question.
See, like, I don't want you to feel bad for having asked that question, and I do think that the ghosts, if used better, would have been way more fun, because I was on board with the movie when I originally saw it. I saw the title, 13 Ghosts. I like ghost movies, and there's a bunch of cool ghosts in this movie. I want to see them all 13 played out, fleshed out, and enjoyable on screen, but you don't get that in the movie. You get that in the side details, which you're looking at right now.
I think it's a a shame, personally.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
they
really.
didn't explore that
It's
more in the
obviously-
actual film.
Yeah, there's obviously a lot of love and the fact
They flick through them
wrote all
really
this
quickly.
for them.
Like they just say the
Yeah.
titles of them and
Well-
a cut to them, and then on to the next one.
Well, Tom, why don't you flip through them real quickly because you got it up in front of you, right?
Yep.
All right. What are they?
We have the firstborn son, who is that little kid with an arrow through his head.
Oh yeah.
We have the torso, which is a gambler who was like lopped off by the mafia and dropped in a lake.
Like, how would we ever know that without looking into it?
Exactly.
Like, that's the thing.
I can't even remember seeing the torso in the actual movie.
Oh,
like,
I did.
Maybe one shot.
Yeah,
was
one
it one
shot.
shot?
One shot, yeah.
Well,
it was one
they're
shot.
also all
How
in
did
the
he even
final
stand
shot.
around the circle at the end?
Yeah, they're
Was
all
he
in
on
the
the
circle
floor?
at the end. They're all in the circle, and he's definitely there. He's just like a torso with an arm hanging out in the circle, like waiting for shit to happen.
Why am I here?
And he was covered in saran wrap or cling wrap or whatever you guys call it over there. So he brought that with him to the
Cellophane.
afterlife.
Yeah.
Something that sucks for him. He hasn't got a head either.
Yeah. So that's
Oh, that's just. And my wife is mouthing at me that we're sick for thinking about this, but like
whatever.
yeah, whatever.
You don't control me. I'm my own man.
I'm picturing that, you know, that last scene where they're all kind of like stood round the middle of the thing, going round, like the torso's facing the wrong direction.
And the head's just screaming at it.
It's like his arms are out with like mystical power, and it's like he's facing the wrong way.
He's got his hands outstretched behind him as well. I know, you're facing the wrong way. What?
Oh boy. Number 3, the bound woman.
bound
That's the
woman.
lady who hung herself, and she's kind of like hanging by a prom dress. A prom dress, I think she. hanged herself.
Oh,
Okay.
I vaguely remember.
Yeah, the withered lover, which is Arthur's wife.
Yeah.
She's the
Eh.
boring one.
The torn
So
prince.
boring.
He's the guy with the baseball bat.
But why was he called
Ah,
the
right.
Torn Prince?
The Torn Prince is the ghost of Royce Clayton, a 1950s high school baseball star with a bad attitude and a superiority complex. During a drag race, he died when his car spun out of control. His ghost carries a baseball bat, and parts of his face and body are torn to shreds from being dragged underneath his car.
Oh.
He uses the bat as a melee weapon, and while inside his containment cube, he sits atop the wreckage of the car. So I guess he brought the car
See?
and bat.
Sweet.
I don't remember seeing him on that.
Well, he definitely swung the bat at Matthew Lillard's
That's,
character.
Oh, yeah.
that's what it says on the thing. So I don't know.
That's so frustrating. I get that. This is making me hate the movie even more. Like, hey, we come with these cool ghosts and everything. We've got Tony Shalhoub. It's fine.
He'll just
His
act
face
like a
is
ghost
scary
through the whole
enough.
movie. Single-minded focus. Gotta save my family. Ooh, booga booga
He'll just
booga.
act. He'll just act like he wishes he was dead. Oh.
So who's next?
So who?
So we are on to the angry princess. That's the lady who's naked,
Okay.
who is cut up. She
Tits McGee.
she worked for a cosmetic, like a plastic surgeon, and one night she tried to perform surgery on herself, and that's why she died in the bathtub, I think.
Oh, that's a terrible idea. But okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
But all you get is her just like kind of like looking a bit mean at people and
Yeah, holding a knife.
making the water turn into blood. Which, as we know from
But then-
Ghostbusters 2, is not cool.
Yeah. Not cool.
Bathtubs are safe places.
Yeah.
We have the Pilgrimess, who is the lady in like stocks. She was hanged as a witch or drowned as a witch or something like that. You have the Great Child and the Dire Mother.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, is that your favorite?
Which
one?
Both of them. They're the same ghost.
No, they're two separate ghosts.
No, both of them. They're not the same without the other. Both of them. I just like the idea how
combo.
weird and fucking creepy that is. It's like, he's like a gigantic baby man, and she's this tiny woman. But like, Anyway, go on.
And their kind of backstory reads like a kind of like
Are they
horrific.
carny folk or something?
Yeah, they're carny folk, and apparently, she was sexually assaulted, gave
Okay.
birth to
Not
her
happy
son
about that.
Harold. He was in diapers his whole life. He went angry and killed everyone, and then got killed himself.
Oh, well, conceptually I
Yeah.
don't really care, but just like the idea of that as a horrifying villain ghost thing is like, I don't want to see that ever.
Yeah, because it's just visually
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, it is visually weird. I mean, I've always thought about this, whether it's a compliment or a sad thing for a person. Say if they're like, you know, like morbidly obese, or they're, you know, they have a weird face. Sorry for people who have weird faces. I'm not judging. I'm just saying.
Face shaming.
When you get, my wife is saying, "Oh my God, I'm well past damage limitation at this point."
It's all right.
I always wonder, like, they get the part right, and they go like, "Yeah, I got the part," and it's like, "But did you get the part because they needed someone with a weird face?"
Yeah.
I don't know how I would take that if I was I guess part of it would be kind of like using what you got, so it's a powerful thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, think of it like this.
Look, I'm not trying to offend anybody, and I don't think I am at this point, because I'm being very sensible and very. I've got people's feelings like are foremost in my mind.
Yeah, well, I'm not judging you. I mean,
Who put this Disaronno in my water?
No, it was me, I got you.
It's me, I gotcha.
So,
gotcha, bitch.
So you mean like Michael Berryman, who was famously in the original The Hills of Eyes. He's got like a very strangely shaped head.
Okay.
Is that what you mean?
That kind of thing.
He was casting a lot of stuff.
Well, I mean, here's two other actors.
He's actually pretty good. To be
I'm
fair.
sorry, I didn't know you. I thought you were done. I'm sorry.
No,
okay.
no, I'm done.
Willem Dafoe. Okay, he has this wicked looking face. He's a handsome fella, but he's like he's got like these teeth and this sharp smile. He's perfect to play a guy like Ryuk from Death Note. You know, which is who he plays.
What I heard is that, well, my brother said this to me this morning. He said that character was initially inspired by Willem Dafoe.
Right.
I don't know if that's true.
You know, I mean, either way,
Ryuk.
like he's natural cast for the Joker too, if he wanted to. You know what I'm saying? He would have been perfect, and he just plays it to his talent. It's not like he's, all right, I'll be the Joker. Fuck, you know. I'm certain he has a good life.
To kill Peter Parker.
Yeah, you know, I mean, he looked like a goblin, so they cast the goblin, and he did fine. I'm talking like Tyrion Lannister, whatever the actor's name is. I like the guy. I can't remember his name. Peter Dinklage.
Yeah, Peter Dinklage.
Yeah. I mean, he's playing to his strengths, and they even cast him in a role that was not an actual character who was a midget. In the I think X-Men movie, one of the X-Men movies, they cast him as one of the roles of a person who was like a doctor, sort of like he's the villain basically. Trask or whatever. They let him play that, and it's like, yeah, because he's good at what he does. He's just also a midget, and why not cast a midget? I mean, we get to the points in movies and cinema where we will start hiring more talent as talent becomes, you know, hireable. You know, it doesn't always have to be, you're ugly. You know, so we're gonna cast you because you're ugly. We're gonna cast you because you fit the role. This like the ghost we were talking about, the giant baby, and I can't remember their names. Anyway, I looked at the IMDb, and the lady who plays the angry princess only did that one role. Maybe she got offended, I don't know, but she only did that role. But her face looked perfect. She looks like she has taken plastic surgery, and she could just be a professional model. She just doesn't do any more movies, and they cast a professional model to play a role of a character who was a professional model. And with the two ghosts, I was talking about the big guy and the little girl whose names I can't remember.
The Great Child and the Dire Mother.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You may always interrupt me to correct that. I have no problem with that whatsoever. The guy who plays the Great Baby looks like a Great Baby IRL. Like just a huge guy with a big head. It's a perfect cast for the role that you need. So really, it's up to the person who's being cast to choose not to be offended, because it's not about being offended.
And also, if they feel like they're being taken advantage of, I think then, you know, it's different stories. So if they feel like it's being treated artistically and everything, then, you know, they're probably, if they're fine with it, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. In fact, I last Halloween I had a friend who came dressed as a baby, like a giant man baby, because he's a giant man in real life. He just put on a baby outfit and put a baby face on, like a paper mask that's a baby's face on his face, and it was horrifying. But it's Halloween. You know? He's not like, don't laugh at me, I don't look like a giant baby. No, it's Halloween. He's like, you fucking run from me, I look like a giant baby. Yes, you do, and I'm out of here. Bye. And it's fun, you know? I think that people people sometimes think too deeply on actors' roles in movies, especially actors who haven't worked in a while. Like a friend of mine also mentions sometimes, like, I haven't seen this person in a while. I'm so glad to see that they're getting work. And it's like, do you think that they need work? Do you think that they don't have money from the things that they've done in the past?
Yeah, I mean, some of them won't. They will have spent it or whatever. But yeah, for the most part, people, if they're big name actors, they're choosing what they want to do at that point.
I mean, like Christopher Lloyd, for example. I haven't seen him in a while, but he's been paid for movies he's done. He's probably better with his finances than we are, so he doesn't need to work every week to make a paycheck every week to keep living every week. You know, can you imagine what it'd be like to have like a couple $100,000 just sitting around and you don't have to work? Would you work?
You do what you want to do. You do stuff like this that we're doing for free.
That we're doing for free, absolutely. But it's fun, and we're investing our time in having fun, not investing our time in making money. That's an important distinction there. Even though we might say things about Deserono that are favorable, we do not work for Deserono.
Send me more Deserono.
Nor do we work for Monster Munch or Monster Energy drinks or Mountain Dew Kickstarts or any of the things that we have mentioned on our podcast. But if you want to hire us...
I've mentioned water several times now.
We do work for water, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, on that point, I know I'm kind of like shotgunning the point. I'm not hitting the mark exactly, but I'm hoping I'm giving enough ideas for better thought on how it feels to be an actor that's typecast into a role. You just do the work, and it's something that, you know, you're offered, and it's money. They're not like, hey, fat ass, you want to be a big baby in our movie? Do you? Do you know a little girl who could... You do? Fucking A, man. Bring them both. We got roles for you, man. Get it? Roles because you're fat? No, we don't do that to people.
Get in the car, freak.
Get in the car, freak. Make room for the freak. He's in the car.
Loudly.
Oh my god, suddenly I don't feel so bad anymore.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things I have for the podcast is that I'm American and I can say these things without any kind of problems whatsoever. I don't have any social like pressure to be nice. I can spout crap and he's American. Fuck it, he just says things. Took the heat off you, Tom. You owe me one.
Yeah, no, thanks. I appreciate that. Ghost number 10.
Ghost number 10. All right.
Ghost number 10 is the hammer. That is the guy who's got all of the hundreds of nails in him.
Yeah, the nails and tent spikes or railroad spikes, and he's just a big mean monster, you know. And it's weird because he pulls one of them out of his body, like, yeah, I'm gonna use this and put it in your body or something. But he never does. Like that. He just smashes people with a rock, giant rock, which is, I guess, what he was holding before he died. Yeah. And loads of nails. The jackal is number 11. That's the guy who's got the box on his head, and he's probably my favorite conceptually. Really, he reminds me of. I just like the idea that because apparently he, as visible, he was a mental, like insane asylum, and he the story. My wife is just putting her head in her hands, like fuck.
He was a mental.
Yeah, he was a freak.
He was one of them crazies.
I'm influencing the both of you. I'm sorry, I don't mean to.
Ghost number 11, the Wacko.
El Wacko.
Apparently, doctors kept him in a straitjacket, causing his limbs to contort horribly until he gnawed through it. He was then confined to the basement with a metal cage around his head. When a fire broke out, everyone but Ryan escaped. He chose to remain behind and let himself be burned to death. His ghost wears the loosened straitjacket and head cage, whose front bars have been snapped apart. And here was me just thinking he was a guy who went, grrr, and then ran at the camera.
Comically scratched. It's like, that was my laugh out moment of the movie. When he's attacking the daughter. This is funny. I think it's scary. Oh, it's not scary.
Oh yeah, I will hasten to add, he's my favourite only because I find the concept kind of cool. It's not in any way scary, and I will say this movie is not in any way scary at all.
It's really not.
What age rating was it? Is it 15 or 18?
Well, technically there were breasts exposed in the movie with the angry
princess.
That's
true. So, and this is what we must remember: before blood and death and gore,
right?
Okay, there must be no breasts in our movies.
Bad language. You can have bad language, but don't you show any of them titties.
Nope. Keep them to yourself.
You can use the C word and the F bomb as much as you want, as shown with Shaun of the Dead, which was only a 15 rating over here. But because there's no tits in it, that's okay.
It's a 15 in this country.
Yeah.
So,
well, all right.
There you go.
I mean, technically, the actress was fully clothed, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a bodysuit, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it had to be. There was like a huge gash on one of her breasts, so she was doing surgery. So she was like sliced. I don't know what I'm doing anymore.
Yeah, she's like, fuck it. And she starts cutting it.
Yeah.
You know, she had too much disarray.
Too much Disarona.
See, now that's not a positive
just-
thing to say about Disarona right there. If you have Disarona, you'll start cutting yourself.
Oh my god, you just blew our sponsorship.
What I'm trying to say is, if you follow their guidelines, which is enjoy Disarona responsibly, then you too can enjoy a nice, refreshing bottle of Disarona.
The whole bottle.
The whole bottle.
Before work, after work. Maybe when you're taking little Jimmy to the school.
Did you know to make a
I'm
really
not
nice
doing a good job
cocktail,
with-
actually, you add Disarona to Disarona?
I've
And
heard
then
that
you add
myself,
some
Tom.
more
I've heard that
Disarona.
myself. Obviously, and it can bring families together as well. You know, just put a little bit in the baby's milk.
Oh my god.
That works.
Alcohol.
Guys,
bring
number
families
12
together.
is the Juggernaut. That's the one they catch at the start.
Yeah.
And number 13 is supposed to be Arthur. There you go. So, Matt, what's your favourite ghost?
My favourite one was number 13 because Tony Shalhoub was terrifying in this movie.
Well said.
And on that bombshell, it's Chris's turn to pick. We got through it, guys.
We did. I honestly didn't realize that we were going to have this much trouble. Like, we were all
Neither did I. I
subconsciously trying
watched
to talk
it.
about anything else. Like, this movie is
I
not
watched
important
it
at
and I
all.
was like, that was a good time. It was okay. I'm done. And we'll have a nice little cast about that. And oh, boy.
It's all Matt's fault.
Oh, Tony Shalhoub.
Blame it on the drunk.
It's Tony Shalhoub's fault.
So, but yeah, you mentioned what's my pick for the next podcast.
Yes.
And I was going to go with a movie, but I just picked up Hellblade Senua Sacrifice on the PS4. And we all have PS4s, right? Do we have? Okay.
Yes.
I can get access to one. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's not a long game. Like I said, it's kind of short, and it's only $30 brand new. Unfortunately, it's digital only.
Bugger.
Yeah, that really kind of pisses me off because I'm a Ninja Theory fan, so I kind of wanted to have all the games, and I do technically. I just don't have a physical copy of it. I'll have to
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll have to press it onto a disc and make a box for it myself.
Well, you know what happened? You know, we'll play it, and then in like a couple months' time they'll go, "We're announcing the special edition box
Yeah.
version. It's got more stuff.
It's got a box and a disc.
Wow! It comes in a card." My favourite is when you buy the box, you're like, "Oh, cool, it's a box game." Oh no, it's just a download
Oh
code.
man.
What's
It's like a
the
piece
point?
of paper stuck to where the disc would be, and it's like there's your download code, and you open
I've
the
been
box
hearing
like
that.
what? Why?
Sorry, I heard that the Pokemon game that they're doing recently, like, is just a download code in a box now. I can't remember which one it is. I think it's a re-release of like Gold and Silver. I heard about this week. Hang on.
Good lord.
Pokemon. Just talk amongst yourselves.
All right.
Hello.
So I can't figure that out. Anyway, I was going to pick up Hellblade: Senua Sacrifice. I've already picked up Hellblade: Senua Sacrifice, and I was playing it. I got about a third of the way through it, and the parts that I got through made me feel like it was eligible for the podcast. One of the major things that I'm not doing that I think we should do if we have the option is to play the game with headphones on. Because
Okay.
there's a constant whispering series of voices that goes on, and Senua has like voices in her head. One of the cool things is that when they recorded these extra voices, they've actually recorded it in a human skull. If that makes any sense,
wow.
so they could sound like cranial reverberations and that kind of thing. So they put a lot of extra effort into giving you a great headphone experience. So I feel like we should definitely do that. And
that sounds like a good
and
idea.
it got to a point, like, I mean, first off, I'm just like, Ninja Theory game. It's going to have great cinematics, great motion capture. Those are what their trademarks are. The action will be tolerable or passable. The story will be interesting, but maybe not satisfying, because that's kind of what you get from a Ninja Theory game. But I got a third of the way through this game, and when I went and fought, like, the Master of Illusion, that boss fight was really intense, and the action was actually really good once it starts getting like more packed, more intense, more energy. It feels like playing Metal Gear Rising in a way, but not like rules of nature. None of that shit. It's just you versus them. You have a sword. There's no user interface. There's no life bar. There's nothing like press X now for QTE action. It's just attack the fuck out of them and try to dodge and counter them when they attack you. Don't let them get behind you. But when they do get behind you, a voice will whisper, "Behind you!" Like right at the moment they're swinging, which is all your warning you get, because the way the camera is more like Resident Evil 4 Leon's camera, where the camera's like right over the shoulder, so you don't see behind you. And it's like when that happened to me the first time, I was like, "Fuck!" If I was wearing headphones, it would sound like it came from behind me, and that would have actually raised the hairs on my neck. So there's some horror stuff in here. Plus, there's a lot of gore and corpses and stuff. So like traditional horror things are there too. It also presses a lot of Norse mythology in there, like how Odin was born, how the earth was born, the frost giants, Ymir, and all these things. And it's like, it's kind of interesting. So I decided to just sacrifice my turn. Senua sacrifice my turn. For this week with that game, because I anticipate the rest of the game being really good. And I think it'd be nice if you guys both enjoyed it as well, so that we could talk about it. And I think this is a good representation of what Ninja Theory can do very well. So
as opposed to just the hack and slash that everyone thinks that's all. Yeah, because that's the thing. You have a Ninja Theory game, you think it's just going to be like Devil May Cry.
Yeah, well, they only made one Devil May Cry game, to be fair.
No, but that's what I mean. Like that type of hack and slash, fast-paced, difficult.
It is what I thought it was going to be. I did think Hellblade was just going to be you playing as Senua and getting weapons and learning combos and fighting demons and stuff, but it's not. It's way deeper than that. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to feel. There's a lot of like intense moments that are really worth experiencing, I think. So I'd like to recommend that. I
like the fact that it's gone for a smaller scale as well. So it's like do a small thing well.
Yes.
Rather than try and implement all kinds of extra stuff. And it says here that they consulted with world-leading neuroscientists and non-profits to properly capture sort of the experience of psychosis.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it's not just well done, but also tastefully done.
Yes.
Which
I do believe it's tastefully done.
At Spoilers of the Damned, being tasteful is a must.
Okay, we got to bring these people back in after.
Yeah, we're sorry, guys.
Oh man, but it was really good. There's parts where like you're supposed to open a door or something, and it's pretty obvious. Like a lot of the progression is kind of hallway based. You know where you're going when you see down the hallway. You'll be on the other side. The story's going to happen between then and there. There are some mazes, but they're not really that difficult. But there's parts like when you're just about, like as an example, you're about to open a door, you hear like several voices, and they're different voices. It's not the same voice being like reverberated over and over again. There's like different voices, and one of them's like, "What's that? Is that a door? What's behind the door? Go through the door. Don't go through the door. Go through the door. It's dangerous. Don't." And you hear all these things like on top of each other, so you don't. It's not like one person saying it in a row successively. You hear like these ideas that just sort of like express doubt and certainty, and you're gonna die if you do that. But you have to do that. You're stupid if you do that. Turn back now. All those things happen all at the same time, and it's really cool. It's really cool. And I think I said I got a third of the way through it, and I'll say that because I got to a part where there's 2 doors. Each door leads to a different realm with a boss on the end of it. I beat one of the bosses, and it was satisfying. So I imagine the second boss will be just as satisfying, and you can choose which direction you go. So that's kind of cool. And then after that is like the final boss. So it seems like a pretty short game, and I've been quoted on this show as saying whenever they make a game that's well done and appropriately priced at like $30 for this game for a AAA experience, I'm gonna buy that shit every day. So
yeah, it's sometimes you don't want a game that's going to be 60 to 70 hours long. Yeah, I'm still chipping my way through it, and I mean I love every second of it, but it's one of those games where I'm like, I can't see the ending in sight.
Right. How old will you be when you finish it, you think?
If you ask me a couple of years...
I will.
Well, I bought the Surge as well because it was on special offer, and it's basically Dark Souls, but with a sci-fi twist. It's pretty good, actually, to be fair. And then my girlfriend bought me. I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, but Yakuza Kiwami.
That's not wrong.
Which is the remake of Yakuza 1. And because I fucking love the series, and I played and finished Yakuza 0 earlier this year. So I was like, right, we're getting another Yakuza game, and apparently I think the 6th one is coming out in Japan this year as well. So that's 3 Yakuza games in 1 year, so I'm a happy camper. But at the same time, big games. So
yeah, big games.
But yeah, sometimes like Little Nightmares, like despite the issues that we all had with it at times, the fact that it was a short, because of the game length. That was fine for the type of game it was.
I would like to apologise for that episode, by the way, because I was very unwell that day. I had a cold, very bad cold, and you can hear me because although the episode isn't live at the time we're recording this, I am editing the episode ready to put it live, and you can hear me as the podcast goes on. Starting from a position of, I'll give it a chance, the ending wasn't so bad. By the end, I'm just like, I hate it. It sucks. And I'd just like to apologise. That was the influence of a rather nasty kind of sore throat at the time.
It's fine.
I've eased on the game since then a bit.
He's good game. So, anyway, that's my recommendation. Hellblade, sacrifice yourself. I mean, Senua sacrifice.
What? No, what? Oh, no!
Too late.
No, don't do it,
Instructions unclear. I'm already dead.
Oh, no, I died holding the mouse.
Yeah.
Instructions unclear. Can't leave pentagram.
Right. So, that was 13 Ghosts, by the way.
Yeah, that was 13 Ghosts. We tried to avoid it at every possible opportunity.
Yeah. But with us, we'll see it through.
Yes, to the bitter end. Thank you for joining us. All that remains to be said...
Thank you, Disaronno.
Oh, yeah, Disaronno. Drink Disaronno responsibly. All that remains to be said is thank you for listening to our podcast. We all have various YouTube channels. The links are below. Mine's finally going to have some stuff on it very soon. I've been working on graphics all day, actually.
Oh, that's cool.
Awesome.
Yes. I'm
cool.
Finally going to have content.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Oh man, I love that. I'm gonna go watch that now.
All right.
Again. So yeah, until next time, enjoy Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice as much as you can, being that it's supposed to be quite harrowing and kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And we'll meet you back here next time. Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Drink safe.
Drink safe.
Drink safe.
Jack, it's just fine.
Fleshlight.
This episode of Spoilers of the Damned was hosted by Axton10_61, Madcus Finch, and Garlips. To find out about us, as well as join the discussion on our Discord, check out all the links in the description below. Please feel free to leave a review or rate us on your podcast app of choice.